Jurassic Park.
Hey everyone, it's Jonathan. Welcome to a brand new series on every version ever. This week we're kicking off a series on Jurassic Park. Something I've wanted to do for a while is talk about more books. Obviously most of the stories I cover on every version ever are based on books, but I rarely take a full episode to go over the book itself, either before or after we cover the movies. With this series, we are going to at least take the first step in that direction, and cover not just the films in the Jurassic Park franchise, but the books as well, with an episode each dedicated to all three Jurassic Park films and both Jurassic Park novels. This week we kick off the series with the 1993 film from Steven Spielberg, and next time we will talk about the Michael Crichton novel that inspired the film. Joining me for this entire series is my friend Sam. She grew up with this movie. She even saw it in the theater at 10 years old, probably nearly a decade before I saw it. She and I have talked about doing this movie for a podcast for a while, but when I started thinking about doing more books for every version ever, I knew I'd want to include Jurassic Park in that, and then do the whole franchise, at least up until Jurassic Park 3. As of the recording of this episode, I have no plans to do anything Jurassic World and beyond, and if I do, it would probably be with someone else. As much as Sam is a devoted fan of Jurassic Park, she is a purist, and I think she burnt out on Jurassic World years ago. I'm not even sure she's seen the last two films. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Today we're here to talk about one of both Sam's and my favorite movies of all time, Steven Spielberg's 1993 masterpiece, Jurassic Park. This is probably one of my all-time favorite movies.
Oh, absolutely.
I think this might have been one of the very first PG-13 movies I was ever allowed to see. I don't even know why I was allowed to see it.
Did you
see it
in
I just
theater?
begged enough. No, I did not.
Oh,
I didn't see it till I was a teenager.
I saw it in theater, and it goes to show how much I love this movie. I remember going, because I was 10, and I went with my mom, my cousin Tony, who's 1 year younger than me, and my brother, who at the time would have been 6. He spent the whole movie on my mom's lap, scared to death. And I just remember going to this movie and just being like, floored. Because I'd loved dinosaurs. Like, I could spell Tyrannosaurus Rex before I could spell anything else. Like, my dad was into dinosaurs and archaeology, so I grew up watching all, like, the Nova shows and everything about dinosaurs ever. So when this movie came out, I was like, yes, this is great. And then, of course, nobody could have expected the movie that we got. Like, because it was unheard of, this kind of movie. And I just remember just being like, oh my god. This is my movie.
I remember being, like, I was aware of the movie when it came out because, well, I mean, I know I wouldn't have been allowed to see it, but I remember, like, I loved dinosaurs. Like, I had dinosaur books.
Yep.
I watched like, Fantasia was my favorite movie specifically because of the dinosaur scene. Like, it's now one of my favorite movies, just in general, because it's such an artistically great film. But when I was a kid, I was just sitting there waiting for the dinosaurs.
See, for me, it was Land Before Time, which...
I liked that, too, but for Fantasia, there was just something about the dinosaurs in that one that I just loved.
Well, and it doesn't make you cry like Land Before Time.
Yeah.
The trauma. Which, I mean, Jurassic Park made my brother cry when he was 6, so he got a little trauma.
Probably for a different reason.
For a different reason. He was just a little bit too young to go see it, but he wanted to come with, so... That's what you get. But no. For me, it was just everything.
Mm. Yeah, I remember we had a neighbor that I would go and visit, and I would always look at his books. He had a lot of books I wasn't allowed to read. He was into Goosebumps. I was not allowed to read Goosebumps. But I would like, look at them. But he also had a Jurassic Park children's novelization that I would flip through.
Wasn't aware that was a thing.
Maybe it wasn't a novelization. It was this paperback book. Like, because, I mean, I was homeschooled, but he went to public school, so he would go to the Scholastic book fairs. I think that's where he would get, I think this was something that he'd gotten there.
Yeah, I lived for Scholastic book fairs. It's the only thing that got me through Catholic school. And, yeah, I can totally see there being some kind of dinosaur book for...
I totally forgot. I just remembered. I would send money for him to go and get me Boxcar Children books. I forgot about that.
Oh, man. Scholastic Book Fair, man. That was... And we were, like, really poor. So Mom was always like, you can get, like, a book or a poster or a bookmark. And I'm like, but... And I still have my Scholastic Book Fair posters. They're on the inside of my bedroom closet. They're not dinosaurs, though.
But no, like I said, I was aware of the movie. I knew I wasn't allowed to watch it because it was PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I saw it, it became one of my favorite movies. I was obsessed. I bought it on VHS, and then a few years later, I upgraded to DVDs.
Yeah, see, when we were kids, because we watched it when the movie came out, we had the toys. And I still have...
I was aware of those, too, because they had, like, the pieces that would break off, and I thought that was disturbing, but I was still intrigued by them.
What was it called? Attack Spots, or Danger Spot, or Attack... Something they were called, because I had a few of those. Didn't have as many as my cousin. I was always so jealous of my cousin Tony, because he was a boy. So he got all the dinosaur toys he ever wanted. And for me, it was like pulling teeth. Like, I want the dinosaur with the chunk missing out of him, please. I did have a few. I still have the big red Tyrannosaur, who I had to take the batteries out of, because for some reason toys back then malfunctioned in the middle of the night when the Tyrannosaurus Rex in your toy box starts roaring, and nobody squeezed it, and it's making stomping sounds, because that was what the toy did. You put it down and it would stomp, like the movie, and then you'd squeeze it and it would roar. But when nobody's touching it, it starts doing it at 3 a.m., take batteries out, and you never put them back in. Yeah, so we had, like, the toys, and, like, any magazine that had, like, a Jurassic Park on the cover I bought. I'm pretty sure I still have some of them. Like, I was already into dinosaurs before that, so, like, I already had, like, some dinosaur books and magazines, and had already had some toys and stuff, but, like, when Jurassic Park came out, that's, like, when stuff started to come out, like, die-cast models. I still have some of those, and it just kind of, like, relaunched, you know, because kids were always obsessed with dinosaurs, but it just, like, reinvigorated. Mm-hmm. And it was, like, opened a whole new world of toys and collectibles, and it kind of steered you away from, like, the kiddie cute stuff that was Land Before Time to, like, the more, like, adult, like, the T-Rex.
The adult ones,
the
where
adult
the chunks
dinosaurs.
of flesh come off.
Yeah. You know, they don't have cute little smiles anymore. You know, it's just...
Or gaping wounds.
Yeah, gaping wounds. I mean, there's dinosaurs. They bite each other. The hardest part was you'd lose the little piece that you're supposed to put back in there. It's like, well, now he's just you're gonna see his bones forever. Just the way it was.
I guess it makes sense looking back, but I didn't realize how big of a deal this movie was before it was even made, because apparently people were aware that this book was being written, and they were, like, waiting to, like, put in bids for it.
Yeah, I had heard that, like, the rights for it were bought even, like, before the movie was even done. But Michael Crichton was a huge... I mean, he still is, I mean, even though he's passed, a huge author. He wrote so many weird horror, sci-fi, action. Like, one of my favorite books of his is the Congo book, which, I don't know if you've ever seen Congo with the apes and the gold mine. It is so weird.
I have not. I read a little bit about it when I was looking up stuff for this, because that was one of the reasons this one specifically was wanting to be made, because that movie had already been made, or
yeah,
it was like the rights had been bought.
Yeah.
People were waiting for this, and then he was working on a dinosaur book, and they thought that that was going to be...
I think Congo came out after.
I think it came out after, but
yeah.
I think it was in production before. I'm not exactly sure of the timeline, but I know that because of Congo, that was the reason people were waiting for Jurassic Park.
Yeah, the movie's a little... the book is... I remember I had the book, and then somebody stole it. I don't think you can buy it anymore, so I haven't gotten it back. But, I mean, I think Michael Crichton, I think he wrote Spear, and I don't know, he just wrote, you know, he was the man. He just wrote so many good books. So yeah, I remember reading later on that people were already like, we're going to make this a movie before you were done writing the book.
Mm-hmm. Well, from what I read, like, there was a bidding war, but that was not what he wanted, because I think he wanted Spielberg to begin with.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, of course. But with, like I said, with Congo, it says that there was a bidding war for that movie in the 70s. And because of that bidding war, he wanted to avoid the same situation. So he was offering, like, a fixed price of $1.5 million for the movie rights for the script. And then, I'm not sure exactly why, but I guess probably the companies wanted more money, but they were like, we need to have more people bidding for this. But it did eventually, of course, get made by Steven Spielberg.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Imagine what we could have gotten. Ugh. Well, we probably would have got something a little bit more that followed the book more, but we're not going to worry about that today.
I also thought it was really interesting that one of the people who was trying to get the rights was James Cameron.
Oh, that's not surprising. He was starting to really become a household name around that, around that time with Terminator and Aliens and stuff.
Yeah. He said that his version would have been much nastier.
I bet.
He was comparing it to his 1986 Aliens.
I was just going to say, like, Aliens.
Yeah, that's more of what he was going for, but
instead of xenomorphs, it's velociraptors.
Yeah. And he says he realized he was not the right director after he saw the finished product. And he was like, yeah, Spielberg was the right choice.
Well, and, like, Jurassic Park, kind of like Goonies, has that childhood whimsy to it.
Yeah.
It's got that Spielberg whimsy, I should say, that all those Spielberg movies have.
Even though it probably would have semi-traumatized me as a kid, I still would have liked it as a kid. Oh, yeah. Like, even if I was scared, I would have liked everything else about it.
Right. Well, and I think that's one of the things with Jurassic Park is it's scary, but it's not scary. You know, it knows when it needs to. It's more intense.
Yeah. Because, like, before I saw it, in my head, I had built it up as this horrifying horror film. And then once I saw it, I was like, yeah, this is scary, but, like,
you're like, this
good
is more,
scary.
Yeah, this is like an adventure. This is like...
Yeah.
You know, this isn't Carnosaur where the whole purpose is blood and gore. This is an adventure. I
still haven't seen that one.
It's really old. It's probably not that great anymore.
It probably wouldn't be traumatizing to me at this point.
No, well, a different kind of trauma. Like, oh my god. I will say, you can tell when Steven Spielberg made Jurassic Park, you know, we get the opening scene with the crate. You know, we don't get to see the velociraptor. Mm-hmm. And it very much kind of reminded me of Jaws. Of, like, the lessons he learned with Jaws. Mm-hmm. Plus, you know, he didn't want to, for lack of a better phrase, blow his load early and show us the dinosaurs. You know, he waits until that perfect moment with the brachiosaur when we get to see it. So, like, the opening scene... It does kind of open like it's going to be a scary movie, because it is a scary scene. Mm-hmm. You can hear the velociraptor, everybody's screaming, they're shooting. The way the guy gets pulled back and pulled up is very unnatural. You're like, what is going on? Like, you know it's a dinosaur. Mm-hmm. You know you're watching a dinosaur movie. But I think when Jurassic Park came out, they had just discovered the Utah raptor. Mm-hmm. And so that's technically what the velociraptors kind of are in this movie. They're Utah raptors. So you knew it was something, but it's not like now where you hear the sound of a velociraptor and anything else and you're like, oh, that's what a raptor sounds like. Mm-hmm. You know, or like how a lot of shows like will mimic what the T-Rex sounds like in Jurassic Park. When, you know, you watched it when it first came out, you didn't know what was in that crate. Like, you knew it was too small to be a Rex. Mm-hmm. So you're like, well, what's in there? Because, you know, the general public and stuff, they weren't real familiar with different kinds of dinosaurs. You know, it was Stegosaurus, Triceratops, Tyrannosaurus, Brontosaurus. You know, those were like the dinosaur staples that everybody knew. Mm-hmm. Nobody knew about all these other ones, you know, these kind of more, at that time, obscure ones. Like Dilophosaurus and Velociraptor, and even Brachiosaurus. Because like I said, it was all about Brontosaurus or Apatosaurus, whatever you want to call it.
Which Brontosaurus, at the time, technically didn't exist, because I think
they had renamed it, and they had, like, the bones wrong. It was just a whole big thing.
I mean, it's still a whole big thing.
Yeah, because now I read an article not that long ago. They're like, the Brontosaurus is back. And I'm like, okay. I'm not even gonna...
It's one of those things where it's like, as a kid, I think I would have been very annoyed because I could be, like, very pedantic about things. Because, like, the Brontosaurus was based on just a skull, but then they found out that, like, the rest of it was from a different dinosaur.
Yeah,
I think it was Apatosaurus.
Yeah.
So, Brontosaurus, even though it had been named, did not exist.
No.
But then they found another dinosaur years later, semi-recent to now, like, not that long ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago.
And now they have given that the name Brontosaurus, so now it exists.
They're like, hey, we found another sauropod. Let's just give it a name we already have.
Yeah.
Instead of coming up with something else. So, but yeah, that's why the opening is just such a classic. It's just gets you. Mm-hmm. You know, grabs you immediately. You're invested. You're like, what is going on? Then it kind of slows down a little bit, as it should. But I like that Jurassic Park. It just comes out swinging.
Yeah.
It's like, you're in for it. Get ready.
Yeah.
That's probably the moment my brother started crying.
They let him know early. This is what you're in for.
Get ready.
I don't think I had realized until researching for this that Crichton actually wrote the screenplay also for this.
Oh.
but he didn't really want to at the beginning, and he wasn't the first one, because they had somebody, the person who wrote Hook, for...
I love Hook.
Yeah. That was Malia Scotch Marmo. They first gave her the job of writing the screenplay to Jurassic Park, and she apparently spent 6 months working on it, and made a bunch of changes, including combining Malcolm and Grant into one character.
No, boo.
Ultimately, Steven Spielberg didn't like it, so the final drafts were given to David Koepp.
Well, a lot of movies anymore, especially, there's always, like, how many writers credited. So it's not really too surprising that the script went through a couple different writers and drafts before it's went back to Michael Crichton. I'm sure Spielberg was probably like, you're the only one. You're the one who can write this for me.
I'm trying to figure out the timeline here. He might have not written the final draft, but he was involved all the way through.
Oh, I'm sure he probably was. It's his, this is...
I think maybe he started it, then Scotch Marmo did the second version, then it was given to Koepp, and Koepp's, after many rewrites, I think is the final one.
They kind of just, it's just a mishmash of all these different people's ideas.
Yeah, because I think for a while they were trying to combine Malcolm and Grant into one character.
It's not even that big of a cast, like...
No, but I think a lot of people just didn't like him.
Well, yeah. That's the whole point of his character, is you hate him when the movie starts.
Well, there's a quote from Koepp in trying to, like, flesh this out, because he was, like, trying to bring him back, but he found him too difficult, and he said, I told Steven before I started, that guy's gotta go. He's just taking pages at a time talking about esoteric scientific concepts.
And then they're like, wait, this is perfect. Well, yeah, because when you watch Jurassic Park, Ian Malcolm is absolutely so insufferable. But then by the end, that's the whole point of the character.
As I was watching, because, like, I like him as a character, as I was watching him, I was like, I think this is one of those people who I like in a movie. I would not want to be friends with him.
Well, and I think it probably also helps, though, that just Jeff Goldblum is just so damn charismatic.
Oh, yes.
And I had first seen him in The Fly, so seeing him in a normal role was like, yay! I think, The Fly came out in the 80s. I think if he would have been played by anybody else, he would have not been nearly as iconic.
I think he might have been one of the reasons why they kept the character, because Steven Spielberg was insisting that they keep this character. And then once he auditioned, they were like, he's perfect. He's got to be this person.
And at some point, he's opening his shirt. I have that Funko. The thing that always got me, and I didn't know this until a few years ago, was the age gap between Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler. Like, I legit thought they were the same age. I didn't realize there was a age gap between the actors.
I don't think I ever gave it a thought.
No, because there was some talk about, oh, she's so much younger than him, and they're crushing on each other. And I remember being so confused, because I'm like, as a kid, I'm like, I thought they were, like, the same age. Because her hair and makeup and the styling makes her look so much older, and he naturally looks younger, and it's just never bothered me.
I don't think they were a couple in the book, were they?
Oh, man, it's been so long since I read that. I'm going to say no, but I could be wrong. We'll find out.
Because I think a lot of people's issue with it comes from the fact that there's a bigger age gap in the book than there is in the movie.
Well, and, like, in the movie, they don't even get together.
They kind of hint that they're being a couple.
They kind of have flirty back and forth a little bit, but it's not like he passionately grabs her and kisses her or anything like that. Which, they're also in, like, a very dangerous situation.
Yeah.
It'll throw anybody closer together, but yeah, it wasn't until years later that they're like, oh, there was a pretty big age gap between them, and I was just like, really? That's wild? Don't care.
Yeah, because it doesn't really come up enough for it to be an issue.
No. And in the sequels, they don't even get together anyway.
I remember watching the third movie and thinking it was weird that they weren't together, but it didn't ruin anything for me.
I think a lot of people thought it was kind of odd that they weren't together. But again, you're just like, oh well, dinosaurs, please.
Yeah, that's the main reason that I watch any of the sequels. Well, usually when I do a podcast, I go through the entire cast and I write down everything that I knew them from. But for this one, I didn't do that because for basically everybody, this is what I know them from. Like, I don't know that there's anybody... I mean, maybe Sam Neill, because I'm trying to think of when I first saw the Merlin miniseries. That might have come before this, but I think it was probably around the same time.
I think it was around the same time. I think the Merlin miniseries was closer to the 2000s, maybe.
But as far as when I watched them, I'm trying to think. I feel like this would probably be around the same time, because like I might have seen this one first, but I mean, for most everybody, this is the reason that I know all of these actors.
I mean, for me, since I watched this when I was 10, I'd probably say this was my first introduction to these people. I may have seen The Fly before I saw Jurassic Park, but I don't think I would have clocked immediately that it was the same actor.
Mm-hmm.
Because The Fly's something else. That it was Jeff Goldblum, but for me, yeah, this would have been my first introduction to everybody. I think I had kind of forgotten, like I knew Samuel L. Jackson was in it, but he plays such a different character in this movie than like a lot of his other movies. I don't think I clocked that it was like the same Samuel L. Jackson. Because like he's like in Pulp Fiction and like then in The Avengers and stuff like that. And then you go back and watch Jurassic Park and you're like, oh yeah, this guy gets eaten by raptors, poor guy. He's the only one in the whole place who knows what he's doing other than Muldoon. So, but then like Sam Neill, this was the first movie that I'd seen him in, but I've seen him in quite a few horror movies. Like, he's in The Mouth of Madness, which is one of the trippiest, weirdest horror movies I've seen. And then, of course, my nemesis, Event Horizon, which I'll never watch again. He's in that, too. And then, of course, he was in Merlin. But I've probably seen Sam Neill in the most. I think I just recognize, well, I guess Samuel L. Jackson, since he's been in so many of the Marvel movies and stuff. And I think I just recognize Jeff Goldblum whenever I see him, but I don't know how many of his movies I've actually seen.
Yeah, for most of these people, I've seen them in plenty of things after.
Well, and then Newman was in Seinfeld.
I don't know that I saw any of Seinfeld before I saw this, though. Because, like, I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of regular sitcoms as a kid, so I don't think I saw Seinfeld before I saw this. I
don't remember when Seinfeld debuted. I just know that when I did watch Seinfeld, I was like, hey, wait a minute. I know that guy.
Newman.
It's Newman. He's from Jurassic Park.
Yeah. But I think most of these people, at least to me, probably because of this movie, I'm always excited to see that they're in another movie, just because I love Jurassic Park so much.
Yes.
I love these actors because of this movie.
Yeah, and I think for some of them, it was probably like, it really probably put their name on the map because, like I said, I think a lot of people had already, knew who like Jeff Goldblum was, not to keep bringing him up, but, I mean, not everybody's going to watch The Fly. But Jurassic Park, everybody could watch.
Well, I know I read somewhere that one of the ways that they were trying to keep production costs down was casting relatively unknown actors.
Which makes sense. A lot of early movies did that.
Yeah. So I don't think anybody was like a massive star.
No. Yeah, not like they didn't have like, 20 movies under their belt and, not like now if you tried to cast any of these, most of these actors now, it'd be a whole different story.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, even like Laura Dern, who I haven't seen a whole lot of her movies, but even she's, especially lately, she's been in some newer movies.
I always think it's interesting to hear about people that they had considered. Because, like, before they decided to go with relatively unknowns, they were thinking about who could be, like, bigger names that they could get. And for Alan Grant, Kurt Russell was one of the people that they were thinking about.
That would have been hilarious.
As well as Richard Dreyfuss.
Oh.
And then William Hurt, Harrison Ford, and Tim Robbins.
Oh, I remember hearing that, yeah, they had considered Harrison Ford for Alan Grant.
Yeah.
And he said after the movie came out, he was glad he didn't get the role because he said he wouldn't have been able to bring that same level of heart that Sam Neill does. Boy, can you imagine? That'd be so fun. Just picturing Kurt Russell.
It would have been a different character.
Oh, it would have been completely different character. I probably still would have liked it, though, because I do love Kurt Russell.
Yeah, yeah. And for Ellie Sattler, other people that were either considered or auditioned, they list Robin Wright, Juliette Binoche, Binoche, Stacey Hyduck, Gwyneth Paltrow,
Oh, man.
and Helen Hunt.
I could see Helen Hunt, because her and Laura Dern are kind of similar. Oh, man. The Princess Buttercup, the Princess Bride. She probably would have been good, but...
Yeah.
But I think Laura Dern, she did bring her own... You know, I liked that she was vulnerable, but she was also very serious, and she knew exactly what she was doing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, she went out with Muldoon when they were hunting the raptors. Like, she knew what she was getting into, but she knew what she had to do. So I always liked about Ellie Sattler. She was, you know, she was vulnerable, but she was strong, and she knew exactly what she had to do. She wasn't afraid to get her hands dirty.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. And then for Ian Malcolm, I don't know how I feel about this, but they talk about Jim Carrey audition for the role.
Oh, man, that would have been so annoying.
Yeah. They say that he was terrific, but they love Jeff Moore, and I'm like...
Okay, picture it. Jim Carrey, Kurt Russell.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow. Oh, man. No.
I think this would not be the classic it is today.
Because all I'm picturing is Ace Ventura and Kurt Russell from any action movie and Gwyneth Paltrow from, like, Iron Man or something. And oh, man. No, man.
No.
Give Kurt Russell a patch like Snake Plissken in Escape from New York. He gets it from a velociraptor.
I mean... It probably would have been an enjoyable movie, but in a completely
like an SNL
different
skit.
way. It does. It really does.
Yeah, no, thank God I mean, I love Jim Carrey, and Jim Carrey has proven he can be a very, he can go on both sides of the spectrum. He can be comedic, he can be serious. Mm-hmm. In 1993, I think we would have seen not a serious actor.
No, definitely not.
No, you would have been rooting for that, Rex. Get him! Get him!
Jim Carrey is one of those people that I like sometimes. I don't know that I would have liked him in this era. Like, I don't think I've seen much of this era that I've actually liked.
Well, considering we don't know how he would have tackled the role, we can't really judge how he would have... Because I'm saying Ace Ventura and stuff are like the Jim Carrey from The Mask or like from the Sonic movies, but he could have played it serious and been really, really good, but I don't think the world was ready for serious Jim Carrey yet.
No, probably not.
No.
It's an interesting thing to think about what might have been, but I'm glad we got what we got.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You just see him. Alrighty, that the T-Rex comes after him.
I mean, Malcolm does have some one-liners.
He does. He's got quite a few, actually, but...
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
I'm just picturing Jim Carrey's faces and with the T-Rex on... like in The Mask when he makes those exaggerated expressions. Oh God, it would have been funny.
One person that they don't list anyone as another thought for a role was Richard Attenborough as John Hammond. He basically was who they wanted from the get-go.
Oh.
And he had not acted in 14 years before this. Like, he was retired.
I heard they had also considered Sean Connery at one point. But I don't think he ever auditioned. I think they had just thought about it, because he was Scottish, and I think John Hammond's supposed to be Scottish, too.
He is. He has a line in about coming over from Scotland.
So you just throw Sean Connery in with Jim Carrey and them.
Yeah, he could be in the alternate universe version.
Oh my God, then you gotta swap out and put Harrison Ford in there, and you could be like Indiana Jones in another universe. This time it's dinosaurs.
Well, then what about the kids? I read that Christina Ricci was auditioned to play Lex. So that could have been interesting. I
like Lex and Tim. I think they're perfect for the roles. Tim is a nerdy little boy who follows everybody around. He's perfect.
Yeah.
Lex, I think as a kid I thought she was kind of annoying, just because she's the older sister, and I think that's just kind of how she's written, but I still kind of wanted to be her when I was a little kid, so... Because who didn't watch that and be like, I want to learn how to hack things. I want to learn how to do stuff on computers.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't really a thing right now, but that's cool. But, yeah. I thought the kids were great. Like I said, Tim is just the perfect little dinosaur nerd.
Yes.
Dresses up like his idol. Won't leave him alone. Won't shut up.
I love that.
He's
that
just
scene.
got the wide-eyed wonderment. You know, Steven Spielberg does know how to cast kids.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a great job with those two. I wish they would have come back for other movies.
They had a bit role in Lost World, but they didn't stick around.
Yeah, I blocked that out.
Yeah. I mean, it's still possible. They could come back for a future one, but...
You probably won't watch it.
At this point, I consider Jurassic World to be their own thing.
Oh, yeah, it has nothing to do with this.
I compartmentalize. No. Even though the actors came back for the third one, I still don't feel like it's the same universe.
The multiverse of madness. It's a whole nother place. It don't count.
Yeah.
Not
like, I like them as dinosaur movies. I don't like them as Jurassic Park movies.
I don't like them as anything.
I mean, I love dinosaurs, so I can't ever hate them. I can't see them as Jurassic Park
You were
movies.
the opposites. You can't hate them because you love dinosaurs, and I hate them because I love dinosaurs.
I mean, there's so many cool dinosaurs that they bring into them. So I love seeing the new dinosaurs that
that's
they
why
create.
The Lost World is like up there with one of my favorites, because we get Paraphilophosaurus, we get that awesome stampede scene.
Oh, yeah.
And the dude on the motorcycle riding between the dinosaurs' legs. I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I want to do that.
I mean, it's very hard for me to pick a favorite between the first and second Jurassic Park movies, because I love them both.
Yeah. For me, it's probably the first one, just because of the whimsy.
Probably. But, like, I might have watched The Lost World more than I watched the original.
See, The Lost World's my mom's favorite, and she watches it more than the first one.
For a while after I first watched them both, I don't know why, but I had a very weird tradition for a few years of wrapping my Christmas presents while watching The Lost World. I don't know why. I would just set up a table in front of the TV and watch The Lost World while I was wrapping Christmas presents.
I think if The Lost World would have taken more time on the island with the different dinosaurs, like just exploring, it'd probably be a little closer competition for me, because that's, like, my opinion, the best parts.
Yeah.
Is when, when they find the Stegosaurus and you're like, oh my god, wow, finally, and you get to see, like, the dinosaurs in their, quote, natural habitat, and everybody just, like, roaming free, and then when they're hunting Tyrannosaur, because why not? And, all that stuff, and, and then when they start getting hunted by the Rexes, and, that is it is a very good movie. And I will give The Lost World credit that they didn't slack on the CGI and special effects.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't use as many animatronics, but for CGI, you're like, damn, that Rex still looks good.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the baby Rex looks good. But I guess we're going on a tangent for a completely different movie.
We'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll talk about more dinosaurs later, but another thing that I loved about, especially this first Jurassic Park movie, which is weird for me to say because I'm not a car person, but I loved the cars in this movie.
Love the Jeeps and stuff. Love them.
I have them all in Lego form now.
Do you really?
Yes.
I think we got my brother the Hot Wheels versions, and my dad recently put a racetrack up, and I was trying to find, like, the race car in, like, the Jurassic Park Jeep form, but we couldn't find it. But, yeah, I love the vehicles. They're just the colors, they're very much what you would expect to see at a, like, amusement park kind of thing. Especially
the green one, but I think that's the point, because this technically was supposed to be an amusement park.
Yeah, they're supposed to be bright and colorful and catch your attention.
Yeah.
And the designs and all the stuff they have loaded up in the visitor vehicles, like, the boxes, like, they've got the goggles and the flares for emergencies and the pamphlets, like, and the cameras and everything, like, and, like, the Jeeps they drive around, the Wrangler Jeeps and stuff. It's just, the designs and it's just, like, they spared no expense with their designs.
Yeah.
They're all great.
Yeah. It's weird because, like, I was never a car person. I still don't really consider myself a car person, but once in a while there'll be a movie that has some vehicle in it that I just absolutely love, and this is one of those few movies that I love all of the vehicles, especially the green one, but, like, they all have their own things that I really like, just because they're in so many iconic scenes.
Well, and plus, a lot of times anymore, especially, like, with Jurassic World, it's not product placement. I'm sure, like, with them, like, I don't know what the green ones were. I'm pretty sure the Jeep thing is a Jeep Wrangler. I think that's what it is, but it's not in your face. Like, they're not filming the vehicles like they're filming a car commercial.
No.
They're just part of the movie. They're there.
And, like, I don't have a problem with product placement with real products if it's literally just a part of the scene.
Right.
The time that when it starts taking me out is if they, like, zoom in on the logo or something. I hate that.
When she's driving through the jungle in her car on dirt road and it's not bumping around. Really? You live on a country road. Mm-hmm. You bump around.
Yeah. But no, anything that was product placement in this movie felt natural. It did not feel like product placement.
Yeah, they didn't make sure the bag of Doritos was purposely turned so you could read the label, or the Pepsi, you know. Yeah. It's like people pick up something and they eat or drink or do whatever, and yeah, there's something there. It's an amusement park, basically. You're gonna have... Actually, there probably should have been more product placement.
There probably should have been.
There should have been, like, vending machines for, like, Pepsi and Coke and stuff like that, and for candy and everything, but John Hammond's too good for that.
Yeah. Okay, the other vehicles were Fords.
Okay.
It says here that in the book, it was electric-powered Toyota Land Cruisers as the tour vehicles, but Spielberg made a deal with the Ford Motor Company, which provided Ford Explorers that all got custom paint jobs and plexiglass roofs.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think the green ones were Jeeps, because they're not.
No, they're not, no.
That's funny that I suppose it makes sense in the book that it would be electric, because he probably wants...
Well, they're on a rail, so...
Yeah, that it would run like...
Because I don't think that they could even take them off of that rail. I don't think they could just drive them anywhere.
No, because they would have.
Yeah.
You would, the moment that T-Rex comes loose, you'd be like, vroom.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I thought of another product placement.
Oh, what?
Barbasol.
Oh, God. I think as a kid, I didn't even know what that was. My dad didn't shave.
I think my dad used Barbasol.
My dad had a beard, so...
That was recognizable to me.
I think as a kid, I was like, what is that? It's like shaving cream. What's that? Like, is it whipped cream? No.
Although, in the one scene...
I know.
Every time that happens, I think that poor person who ends up getting that piece of pie.
Waiter, there's something wrong with my pie. Yeah, for it being such a in-your-face advertisement, yeah, I completely forgot it was there.
In the book, it wasn't specified, but they chose Barbasol because of the design of the can.
Because it's bright and
yeah.
It stands out. Yeah, in the book, you'd probably just be like, shaving cream.
That's another thing I have in Lego form, because I have the one set that came with Nedry in his vehicle and a Dilophosaurus, but there's a little side build of the sign, and on the ground by the sign is a little tiny, like 1x1 stud with a Barbasol print on it.
Oh my god, that's funny.
It also comes with... Lego likes to hide frogs in especially the Jurassic Park sets, so it's just a teeny little... like 1x1 stud. It's so tiny, but they painted it white, and if you put it next to the Barbasol can, it looks like a squirt of shaving cream.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Yeah. It's like one of the best Easter eggs in a Lego set.
You know whoever designed that loves Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they're like, what can we do? What would I want? This is what I want.
Yes. One thing I thought was interesting, I read that they did not have a costume person to make costumes. They basically just chose ready-to-wear off-the-rack things for this, which I think kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The only person that they chose a specific costume for was Ian Malcolm because of his description in the book with the black, like wearing all black and stuff.
Alan Grant is definitely channeling, they're definitely modeling him after Robert Bacher, the archaeologist. He was like the famous guy who used to dig up dinosaurs. Okay. He had a beard.
He was mentioned in the movie, wasn't he?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, he is. And I'm pretty sure they modeled his look off of him.
That would make sense. Because, even though they didn't have somebody making costumes, they did choose specific costumes based on what they thought the person needed to look like.
Yeah, and they probably just looked up a dinosaur digging crew and probably just kind of, were like, well, what are they wearing? Because they're in the desert.
Yeah.
And it's hot.
Yeah.
So, how should we dress them? Though I did read somewhere that somebody thought that Hammond wearing all white when carrying a cane kind of looked like a pimp.
I read that the intention behind him was to be sort of a religious figure.
That makes sense, too. I always kind of thought he reminded me more of just like I don't know why, but he always kind of reminded me of like Disney. Just because of, the I want to make something for everybody. And
I think that aspect of his character was probably taken from Disney.
yeah.
I don't know that his look reminded me of Disney, but like his intentions reminded me of
But
Disney.
now that you think about it, yeah, he does kind of remind me of like some like evangelical preacher who's dressed to the nines in his nice suit.
Sort of a casual version of that.
Completely different from the person in the book. Like, this is like a lovable guy who wants to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
In which, he nails it.
Yeah.
You can't help but like him.
But we'll probably get into the character differences the next time we talk about this, when we talk about the book. But I could still, at times, see glimpses of the character that might have come from the book. Just like glimpses.
When he loses his temper, he gets firm. Yeah.
Yeah.
When the veil slips a little.
Yeah. He did a really good job towing the line between like a lovable grandpa and somebody who is doing things that are probably very unethical.
Well, and he's putting on an act. He's making a sale.
Yeah. Definitely.
he's going to act as he needs to, and that's going to be friendly, outgoing, helpful.
Yeah.
If you go in there barking what you want and being mean, they're not going to sign off on your park. So he's pitching this idea to them and trying to make a sale, basically. So,
and when they're not around, that's when I see the glimpses of who might be behind the mask.
Well, and that was the whole reason, like, the grandkids are there. Yes, they're there because they're his grandkids, but he also is trying to sell that kids are going to love this place.
Yeah.
Look, here are some children. And they're my grandkids, but they're still here, and they're going to go with you so you can get their reactions on the park. Yeah. Even though it's dinosaurs, adults are going to act the same way.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We should also talk about the location that they filmed. Some of it was filmed in California. Like, they had a place that doubled as Montana, but in California. And, like, sound stages for some of it. But, like, all the outdoor stuff was on the islands in Hawaii.
Gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. This movie is one of the main reasons that I would like to go to Hawaii. Like, people want to go to Hawaii just because, like, oh, it's a tropical island getaway. I'm like, no, I want to go and see where they filmed Jurassic Park and Lost.
Yeah, it's like the cinematography for Jurassic Park. And like when they're flying there and you're just hills and hills of lush jungle and you're like, God, this is beautiful. And like when they're making that very difficult landing in front of the waterfall that I know they had a hell of a time with because of the air and stuff like that. But it's just so beautiful. And you're like, even if there's not dinosaurs there, like, look at it. Let's go. Yeah. Like, it's paradise. It's beautiful. Yeah, they couldn't have picked a better spot to film it in. Though it doesn't take place in Hawaii. It's supposed to take place in...
The islands are fictional.
Yeah.
Nublar is this one, but it's near Costa Rica.
Yeah, that's it, Costa Rica. I was thinking, like, where are they supposedly stick these places at? I can't remember. But yeah, you watch other movies and they film in front of those same landscapes in Hawaii, and you're just like... That's Jurassic Park.
I know. I do the same thing. If I see, like, specific, like, mountain formations.
Yeah, or that same waterfall area, you're like, I know that place.
Yeah. I did think it was interesting, though, that I read that Hawaii wasn't necessarily the first choice because they were also thinking of the Philippines or Costa Rica. But Spielberg was concerned about places that they could stay. Like, infrastructure. And they felt that Hawaii would have better places for, like, the crew and everybody to set up. A lot less having to hike to remote locations for the locations. Yeah,
because Hawaii's already, at this point, would have been massive for tourism, so they're going to have hotels, and a lot of things are probably filmed there anyway, so they probably had places that could already hold big groups of people.
And I also thought it was interesting that while they were there, a hurricane actually did hit the island. And they actually filmed some of the scenes in an actual hurricane.
I mean, hell, I would.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yo, instead of recreating this on the soundstage, get outside.
Yes, exactly.
Everybody outside right now.
Yeah.
We have one take. Let's go.
Yeah. Hurricane Iniki, I guess, was the name of the storm.
Lucky accident.
Yeah.
I can just imagine them, though, and be like, what are the odds?
I guess the storm did ruin one scene that they were trying to do. They had something with the Gallimimus herd was supposed to be filmed, and wherever they were going to shoot was ravaged by the hurricane, so they had to shoot on a different island. I think most of the movie was shot on Kauai, so then for the Gallimimus scene, they moved to the Kualoa Ranch on Oahu.
Well, that is like a big open field, so yeah, if they
It
would
also
have...
has those cliffs in the background.
Yeah.
Which I love that scene. I'm glad that they shot where they did, because that's such a great place.
Well, yeah, because if they had like a big open area planned and then a hurricane comes through, there was probably debris, mud, it was probably just a mess, and
Yeah.
they're probably like, is anybody going to clean this up? And they're like, not for a while. We have other things to clean up.
I think it worked out, because I don't know where they were planning on shooting, but I can't imagine it would have looked as good as where they got.
No, the area they picked was perfect.
Definitely.
I will say, for Jurassic Park, in all its, like, fantastic sets and scenes like that, the one thing that always kind of bugged me was the size of the Velociraptor pit. It just seemed like, for holding a group of raptors, where they were being held in was not very big.
I mean, that could have been intentional, because they do specifically say in the movie that they're trying to break out, so that the raptors know that they want more space than this.
I know. I was just, even as a kid, I was like, well, no wonder they're trying to get out. Look at the little area they're in. Like, I know they're master escape artists, but what? That's pretty small, unless it just looks that way from the way they filmed it. It just...
Yeah, I don't know how big it is, because, like, they're looking down into a hole that I think extends underneath them.
Maybe.
So, I don't know how much more there might be that we wouldn't see.
Yeah, it just always kind of struck me like, oh, it's pretty small. How many are in there?
Well, there's 3, but there were 8.
Oh, yeah. She came in and killed the rest of them.
Yeah.
But, yeah. They... Otherwise, though, like, with all their sets, and it's just so good.
Yeah. I love the main building. Mm-hmm. That's another thing I have in Lego, the main building. It's not... I want a better version of it, because it's a small little set. I want, like, to build the whole thing. Like, it's cool that I have what I have, but maybe someday they'll make a better one. But I just love the shape of that building.
Well, again, like, for the whole theme park theme, it's on brand. It looks exactly what you would think you would see at a zoo or at an adventure park or whatever. It looks like something you would see.
Definitely.
It's not like they went to, like with so many movies where they just find, like, old mansions and stuff and just pretend it's something else. Like, it actually looks like something that they plopped down at a park. And it's the visitor center.
Yeah. I just love the shape of the roof. The designs on the outside. Like, everything about it is it's great. It's such a great building.
It is.
We'll probably talk about them as we get to them in the movie, but I wanted to make sure to mention all of the dinosaurs that are in the movie, because I love dinosaurs. Some of them, like, you wouldn't even know. Like, the Alamosaurus appears as a skeleton in the visitor center. Like, that's not an obvious one. And then Parasaurolophus or Parasaurolophus. There's, like, it's my favorite dinosaur, but I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it.
I've always just called it Paraplophosaurus.
Yeah, it's...
I'm like the one at the horn, you know.
It's
the hadrosaur.
Yeah, Parasaurolophus. I've heard people pronounce it different ways, so I'm not 100% sure on the exact correct pronunciation. I've always said Parasaurolophus, but I don't think that's correct. Either way, it is in this movie briefly in the background. It's nice that it comes into more prominence in the next one.
I think it's a very popular dinosaur, just because it's flashy with the horn.
Yeah. Part of me wonders if it's popular because of The Lost World. Because, like, it was never a dinosaur that I really knew much about before these movies. Like, it's one that stuck out to me, but, like, I never heard anyone talk about this dinosaur.
I just remember it just from when I was a little kid and watching, like, old claymation dinosaur shows, like, on Nova and, like, all the science channels that used to be on that I can't remember, and seeing it, like, in claymation form, like, going up against a T-Rex and stuff, and I was just like, yes, that is cool. You know, I like hadrosaurs anyway, but I just thought the design was pretty rad.
Yeah.
And just the options for, like, the colors and stuff, because you know that the males probably had a really colorful head to, like, because I think in The Lost World they have one that's, like, he's mostly red on top. He's, like, brighter colored, so, but yeah, it probably has something to do with that. I can't think of any other popular culture where the Paraplophosaurus would have been up there, but they just got a neat design.
The only things that I can think of that I've seen them in is different Jurassic Park media. The one that's coming to mind right now, I know you wouldn't have seen it, but there's the animated series from Netflix. I still haven't finished it, but in one of the seasons, they come across an underground cave full of these things, but they're bioluminescent.
Oh.
Which is, like, obviously they weren't in real life, because this is, like, they're finding a whole bunch of, like, experiments that InGen had been doing on the side.
Oh, right.
So this was, like, something that they'd created, like, using jellyfish.
I was going to say, like, glowfish. You just inject the jellyfish stuff and makes it glow.
Something like that. But I do love that visual of the glowing Parasaurolophus in this cave, which, it's a cool idea. It's not realistic, but it's a cool idea.
Yep.
And, of course, the first dinosaur we see is the Brachiosaurus, which I love. That the first glimpse of the dinosaurs.
Oh, man, it's breathtaking, man. That first scene, I remember seeing it just on the big screen and just being like, oh my god, wow, that's real. Like, that's real, right? Like, being a little kid, you're like, how did they do that? That's amazing. But nobody'd seen anything like that for CGI before Jurassic Park. It literally was groundbreaking. And, you know, the music and the swell of the emotion and the build-up. And yeah, who cares if he wasn't making the ground shake before they noticed him? Who cares? Nobody cares. It's just such a beautiful, amazing moment, especially like when he leans up to get the branches off the tree, and I guess it's a she. But yeah, that first glimpse of the Brachiosaurus, you're just like, oh my god, this is what we're here for. Like, you get the opening scene with the Velociraptor that you're like, this is going to be kind of scary. And then you get the first scene of the Brachiosaur and you're like, I don't care. I don't care how scary this is going to be. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah. I haven't really given much thought as to what I might have thought as a kid, but, like, I can imagine that for a kid who had never seen anything like it, that scene would have just been mind-blowing.
Well, like I said, I was 10. So, you know, the movie, I think this was probably the first, like, quote, grown-up movie I probably ever saw. You know, before this, it was probably just Disney.
Or the first one you were allowed to see.
Well,
not
in
sneaking
theater.
down and watching things behind your parents'
I'm not
couch.
counting watching Alien and Predator when I wasn't supposed to. In theater, that I was allowed to go theater to see. The first, like, grown-up-ish movie was probably Jurassic Park.
Oh.
No, I don't think I would have been able to sneak into Predator in a theater.
And I think the next dinosaur we actually see would be the Triceratops.
Well, it'd be baby Velociraptor hatching.
Oh, that's right. Yes, the baby.
You know, in the very important, very informational, very relatively boring when they're explaining how they make the dinosaurs. As an adult, I understand and I appreciate it more. As a kid, I was like, I know they put the cartoon in there to keep me entertained, but I'm not. Because it's a lot of science and a lot of talk that I don't quite get, even though they've dumbed it down to a point that I should get it. And, you know, as you get older, you're like, okay, I gotcha. This is very important. But yeah, and then we get more serious when he's like, what kind of dinosaur is this? And they're like, Velociraptor, and Alan gets all serious, because you're like, oh, that's the thing at the beginning of the movie, when they're on the dig site, and he's got the claw, and he traumatizes that little kid, which I love, because that little kid deserved it. But you're like, oh, okay, I see. It's kind of like the loaded gun thing. You start off with the claw, and then you get the baby, and you're like, this is going to be serious. And at that time, you don't know that's what killed that guy at the beginning of the movie. You don't know that yet. You know it was something, but you haven't heard the sound. And then later, when they're feeding that live bull, cow, whatever, to the raptors, and you hear the sound, you're like, oh, that's what killed the guy at the beginning of the movie. That's that scream. I heard that before.
Yeah.
And that was that little baby he was just holding, and that was the claw he had at the beginning of the movie. You're like, uh-oh. But then after that, I think you're right. I think it is Triceratops. Because they go for a little romp around the park and nobody comes out. You know, like when you go to the zoo.
Yeah, that has happened more than once. Go to the zoo and... Where is it? Where
the hell is it? That's why when you watch it, you're like, this is surprisingly accurate. Or like any safari you go on, I suppose. You're like, there should be this. And you're like, where? Where is it? So yeah, I think you're right. I think the Triceratops is the next one we see. Yeah,
because they mention the Dilophosaurus and then you never see it. They mention the T-Rex and they try and bait it with the goat and it doesn't come out.
Nope, she's like, absolutely not.
But the Triceratops is another iconic scene with him laying on the chest.
Well, and it's just the fact that, you know, the Brachiosaur was, you know, CGI, and then the little baby raptor was just a little puppet, And then you get this full-sized animatronic, you know, Triceratops. Yes, was it disappointing we didn't get to see them roaming in the field and being all cool? Who cares? Like, that's awesome. Like, who didn't want to, like, be there to, like, pet that thing? And then we get that giant pile of that I am still convinced did not come out of that dinosaur.
Every time I see that, I'm like, that's from something else.
I'm like, Triceratops, it's too tall. I'm like, Triceratops was big, but I don't know how high up his booty hole was. Could he really poop that much out even on a bad day? You sure that's from the Brachiosaurus?
That's the only thing I can think of, because it was taller than a person.
I mean, unless, like I said, unless it was having diarrhea and it just... Wowzers. Like, I always think of, like, if... Not that we talk about dinosaur poop, because they found fossilized, but I always thought of it more of, like, giraffe and elephants. Because neither one of them... This shows how much National Geographic I watched as a kid. They don't have piles of poop like that. You know, so it's like, well, it makes sense dinosaurs wouldn't either, because they would use every single nutrient, everything they could get out of it.
Yeah.
But who cares? It's a funny scene, and we get to watch somebody dig through a pile of crap. With gloves, thank God.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Triceratops scene, you know, where you get to see just the absolute joy in Alan's face of seeing his favorite dinosaur and being able to touch it. You know, it's just so great. And the whole time that Triceratops is laying there like, could you please? Could somebody please just help me? Like, I'm so happy you're happy, but I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't feel great. If you could just help me, that'd be great. It's laying there tranquilized, like, please, just get me back to the vet building, please, just help.
I wonder what they did with it after that, because the storm hit the island not too long. Did they just leave it out in the rain?
I'm assuming they just left her out in the rain. They're like, she'll be fine. There's no predators.
Yeah, that's
so,
true.
I mean, like, sorry, sweetie. We'll be back later. Not really. It's like...
Yeah, no, they won't.
No, they won't.
Oh, no. Poor thing.
That was the other thing, like, when they evacuate the island, and they're like, everybody needs to get off the island. I'm like, why don't you have apartments?
They should have a storm shelter or something.
Well, you'd think all the people who work on the island would live there for long periods of time. It's not like the zoo where you live just a few miles away. Like, this is an island where you have to take a boat or a helicopter. Like, you don't have apartments for your employees to live at?
Yeah.
But that's just nitpicking. Yeah, so no, I'm assuming that poor Triceratops is just laying there like, is somebody going to help me? Or am I just going to wait for my trank to wear off and just go back to what I was doing?
I think after that, the next new dinosaur we'd see would be the Dilophosaurus, which, like, nowadays, anytime anybody talks about it, they talk about the Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus.
Which is wrong. It's not accurate.
No. It, like... Part of me wants to be like, that wasn't real, but then I'm like, nobody's going to care if I tell them it wasn't real, so...
No, and I mean, technically the dinosaurs aren't accurate anyway, because they splice everything, and I suppose you could throw a little bearded dragon. No, it's not a bearded dragon. What's the little Australian lizard called? Pops out his frills when he wants to...
A frilled lizard?
Yeah, the frilled lizard. That's what I think they took, inspiration from the little frilled lizards for that. And kind of almost also cobra, because cobras fan out and some of them can spit poison.
Yeah.
So I suppose they took, inspiration from cobras and the little frilled lizards because the Dilophosaurus has a cool design. Like, it didn't need anything added to it. It didn't need a rattlesnake sound, which doesn't make sense because rattlesnakes only do that so they don't have to bite you. Dilophosaurus is like, I'm going to rattle and then I'm going to eat your face. You don't get a warning. This isn't a warning. This is an attack. This is like my attack sound. I'm going to get you. But does Dilophosaurus come before Rex, though? Or does it go back and forth?
It's kind of, I think it's one of those scenes that kind of cuts back and forth between three different things.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's kind of like all the just hits the fan at once, and it's just complete chaos once Nedry shuts down the park and takes off with his little Barbasol can. Because, the power goes out, and they're stuck at the Tyrannosaur paddock. And then Nedry takes off, and they're trying to reboot everything. And Muldoon, am I saying his name right?
Robert Muldoon. Yeah,
he is going to go out. Yeah, it's just complete chaos at this point. So, I think you're right. I think it cuts back and forth. Maybe we do see Dilophosaurus before we see T-Rex. I should have watched this last night, but I didn't.
I mean, I watched it last night, and I'm not sure which one... They show up so close to each other that I'm not sure which was first, but I think it was the Dilophosaurus.
Yeah, because it's when he's trying to get to the ship so he can get out of there.
Yeah.
And then he hits the sign, which was not built very well.
No,
and why does it move?
That's what I was wondering. Like, I'd never thought of it before, but after he hits it and he's like spinning it around, it's like, why did you put the thing on there so it could rotate? Because you're not going to need it to rotate later.
And more important, don't you know the way, sir? You helped build this. You should know where you're going.
That's true.
Unless he's always had a driver and he just never paid attention. Maybe we're just giving him too much credit. I mean, I keep wanting to call him Newman.
I mean, I was doing that in my head too.
No, it's Nedry. I mean, he's a smart computer guy, but that doesn't mean he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's a comedic thing. It's kind of like when he falls and they make the banana peel sound.
Everything about him was more funny than I thought I'd remember. Like, even his dialogue with Hammond, like, he has quips.
Well, he's such a smartass, because he knows. He knows they can't run the park without him.
Uh-huh.
He knows, when you know you can't be replaced and you can't be fired, you're going to say whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
And he does.
I don't like him as a person.
No, you're
but,
not
like,
supposed
I
to
feel
like
like
him.
at least this time in watching it, I feel like I understood him more. Like, he has money problems, and John Hammond, this is one of those things where I could see the mask slipping with John Hammond.
Right, he's not paying him what he thinks he's worth.
Yeah, they're back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, I don't agree with how you decided to go about things, but I understand them a little more because John Hammond wasn't treating him the best.
But also, like, I want to know how much was he paying you?
That's true.
Like, I want to know. Like, were you getting paid like $100,000 a year and you're just being greedy, or were you getting like $30,000 a year and it's justified?
That is a good point. I guess in my head, I'm figuring like he's probably being underpaid, but we don't actually know that.
Yeah, and if that's the case, wait till the park opens and then renegotiate your contract.
Yeah.
Like, once people start coming to the park, you're going to be worth billions.
Mm-hmm.
Renegotiate your contract then, bruh. I don't think he didn't have time for that. He wanted his money right now.
Yeah.
So he's going to smuggle out some dinosaurs, which I never understood why he had to go through all this. Is it just so he could I think it's just so he could get into the incubator thing.
Yes. He needed the camera shut down. So he set up the...
But he was in charge of the camera, so he could have easily just faked the cameras going. See, now we're getting too deep into
I think that was part of it, because I think he wanted to cover his tracks by making it seem like multiple systems were going down at the same time.
But then when you take off without helping to fix everything, it's kind of like red flag. Nedry.
Yeah, that's true.
What the hell? I always thought maybe it was so he could get through like security and he wouldn't be searched. But they didn't have security guards.
If they had security, they left on the boat.
Yeah, they left too. It's just one of those, again, it's just, you just go with it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's probably best explained away as he didn't think it through well enough. Or he thought he was, because he did have some good ideas about
he knew
how
what
to
he
get
was
away with
doing.
it.
Yeah.
He just didn't think it fully through.
And I'm sure once we reread the book, it's going to fill in all the holes. You'll be like,
yeah,
that thing I was crabbing about, here it is explained right here, right in front of me.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, you got to give him credit. He knew what he was doing and he knew what he wanted. He just didn't know how to drive.
Or at least he didn't know how to drive in
the
hurricane.
Rain. Tropical island, drive in the rain. I'm pretty sure it rains like every other day. Everybody's flawed. Everybody's got to have their flaws. Mm-hmm. And we wouldn't have gotten that great scene where he gets eaten in the car. I will say, the Dilophosaurus scene is like, it kind of ramps it back up from that opening scene with the raptors, where you're like, oh, that dinosaur's super cute. And it's playing with them. You know, it's like hiding around. It's making the cute little, kind of a toucan noise. That's what it sounded like, a toucan.
Like a swan or something? I can't remember.
Swans are scary.
Well, I think there's a certain breed that makes sort of a hooting, whistling noise.
Yeah, just the little chirps and stuff just kind of reminded me of a parrot. But, you know, and you're like, this isn't scary, but then it pops out its frills and spits poison tar on him, and you're like, oh, hell. Oh, no. Run. And, you know, he can't run because it's raining and he crashed down a waterfall. Or he slid down it trying to get that can of embryos.
Okay, it says here, its vocal sounds were made by combining a swan, a hawk, a howler monkey, and a rattlesnake.
Oh, so not a toucan.
That's an interesting combo.
It is. The rattlesnake everybody hears when he frills out the frills. Again, it's like, well, where are the rattles? Because the rattlesnake rattles because he's got rattles in his tail. Now we're nitpicking.
My brain was interpreting it more as a hiss noise.
True, yeah. Because then he does hiss and, snarl and attack. I like it when he gets in the car, though, when he tells them, I'm going to run you over when I come back down.
That's one of my favorite
love
lines.
that line. And the Dilophosaurus is like, oh, fine. Your lunch and supper and breakfast the next day. And then when he gets in the car and I don't remember how the passenger door got open. I think that's just one. Like, did the Dilophosaurus open it, or did he open it when he was stumbling about?
I think it's one of those things where
you don't question it. You just go with it. He crawled through the window.
The magical appearing cliff where
we will talk about that. I watched something earlier, and we'll talk about that. I have explanations.
Okay, good. I want somebody to tell me how to make it make sense, because that's like my biggest sticking point with the movie, that it's the hardest thing for me to just be like, okay, I'll just go with it.
Yeah, no, we will talk about that when we get there in just a moment. But first, Nedry's got to die.
I forgot I was going to look up what the venom was made of.
Tar.
Methyl cellulose and KY jelly. Which methyl cellulose is apparently a bulk-forming laxative.
Don't open your mouth. Don't swallow any of this.
I wonder what gave it the color. I suppose just food coloring.
Just probably food coloring.
But that stuff that he spits on him is really gross.
Man, I mean, if somebody spit KY jelly and laxative on me, I'd be pretty mad.
Especially if it's some kind of eye-burning acid that it seems to be.
Or goo, because it's, like, sticky.
Yeah.
Ew. Now that I know what it's made out of, it's even worse. I always thought it was just like, oh, we'll just get some, like, tar or something and squirt it at you.
I mean, I would much rather have this than tar, because tar will burn your skin.
Yeah, true.
Like, this is gross, but it's safe. Tar would not be safe to throw on a person.
Yeah. It's kind of like fake blood is, just syrup dyed red. Well, and then once Nedry's gone, then it pretty much just focuses on the Rex attack.
Yes.
Which is just one of the best, absolutely best scenes. One of my favorite things is, did you watch any of the behind-the-scenes stuff with the animatronic Rex?
I have in the past. I didn't watch it this time around.
They built the Rex, I think, other than the legs, and I love the fact that when they were filming with it, it would get so wet it would start shivering because it would soak into the dinosaur frame.
Yeah.
So they had to go out there with towels and, hand dry the Rex.
That would be a great visual.
And,
taking care of the poor...
as it's shivering.
Chilly baby.
This giant dinosaur. And then I like watching, when they're, doing tests with it, and they have it, moving around and whipping its head around, and they have it taking stuff from the people on the stage to, test it, and you can see its tail whipping around in the back. I'm like, God, it's beautiful.
It is.
I mean, it was the Stan Winston School of Arts that did that, and they did so many of those old movies, like Tyrannosaur, The Mummy from The Mummy, and they did, the Terminator from The Terminator, and they did all those. I think they did the Aliens, too. And, just some of the best animatronics and puppetry in the world came out of that school.
Well, it wasn't originally going to be that. It was, the original idea was for stop motion, because that's how dinosaurs had always been done.
Yep, I'd seen a behind the things where they were talking about the stop motion. And as someone who loves stop motion dinosaur movies, I'm so glad they didn't do that.
Me too. I love stop motion as an art form, but it never reads as real to me.
No. You're not going to take it seriously. The second that stop motion Rex comes out, you're like, oh, claymation!
And, I've seen the tests that they did for, especially, the Raptors. I feel like everybody who's watched any behind the scenes has seen the Raptors in the kitchen test animation that they did. It looks good, but it doesn't look real. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the Raptor thing, too, and you're like, yeah, that looks really good. But I'm not scared of it. Mm-hmm. I don't think that thing's gonna kill those little kids. If it was anything else, then it would probably... in that alternate universe with Jim Carrey and Kurt Russell And Gwyneth Paltrow, we can have the claymation stop-motion dinosaurs.
Yes. I'd be fine with that.
I would be, too. It'd be like Spaceballs with Jurassic Park. Cretaceous Park.
Why hasn't somebody done something like that?
Let's do that.
They've made so many other parody movies.
That'd be so funny. Like, all the things we didn't do originally, we're gonna do now. And the background music is gonna be techno. Some sand dune playing. But, like, one of the things that makes that scene with the T-Rex, just the whole thing leading up to it, is there's no music.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
That's one of my favorite things about that whole scene.
It's just the rain,
yes.
and it just sounds so good. And then you get the amazing scene with the cup, you know, and then you get the talk between those guys, because, you know, Ellie didn't go with them, so now that, which means we forgot about the whole Ellie making the point about dinosaurs ruling the earth and women taking over, which everybody loves that. But now you have Alan and Malcolm together, and there's no buffer anymore. Because Ellie was the buffer between the two of them, and now you just got those two who don't want to be together because they don't like each other. You got the lawyer and the two kids who's trying to go to sleep because the kids are driving him nuts. And they're stuck in the rain in front of this paddock, and, like, you know, the lawyer, he's, like, all excited they're going to make money, but I don't know how much he was taking any of this too seriously until the T-Rex shows up. Mm-hmm. But I think he takes off when the goat leg falls. And because he gets scared. And then, yeah, he runs into the bathroom. And Lex is like, what the hell? You left. Like, you left the kids. And then Alan and Malcolm don't notice what's going on until they see him running. And that's when he says, you know, when you gotta go, you gotta go. Mm-hmm. It seems like an odd place for a bathroom. You don't think you'd want people to get out right there. Maybe.
I'm assuming that if this was a real ride, the cars probably would stop there.
They would probably have staff, too.
Yeah.
Maybe they were going to have, like, a gift shop.
Because, like, I mean, if you were on a tour of a dinosaur island, you're going to want to stop and view the T-Rex. And if you're stopping...
You go to the bathroom. Well, if you have little kids, you're going to have a bathroom. Yeah. So I guess it does work. Like I said, maybe in the future they were going to have, like, a little picnic set up and staff and, like, a food truck.
Probably.
While you're watching the Rex. But, you know, and that's what draws Alan and Malcolm's attention to the fence, is they're like, they hear the creaking, you know, and the Rex figures out starts snapping the power lines, and you're just like, oh my god.
The sound design is so good.
Yeah, because you see the Rex, you know, eating the goat, which is when he takes off, and then it cuts, you know, back between them, and you're like, and that's, you know, and that's the animatronic one. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, oh my god, it looks so amazing. I mean, the fact that they managed to make the eyes dilate, like, that wasn't CGI. Yeah. That was the actual animatronics and everything. You're just like, it's
so good.
So amazing, you know? And then, then the wires break, which is kind of cheesy, because, like, she's not touching the wires as they're breaking. You're like, how are they snapping off? I don't care.
I assumed that she was probably leaning on the fence in a part that we weren't seeing.
Yeah, she could have been. Or use her tail, even. Like, I've learned my lesson. We're just going to use this appendage to do this, you know? And, when she, you know, snaps through and roars, you're just like, oh my god. Like, the whole theater, I'm pretty sure, was just dead silent. You know? And this was before they had really good sound systems. Mm-hmm. It's not like now where it'd be, like, all around you and the theater would shake.
I read that this movie was kind of a thing that got theaters to upgrade. Like, Spielberg wanted better sound for this movie because of scenes like this.
Yes, but I saw it in Harlan.
Oh.
I saw it in town.
You're talking about our theater.
Yeah, I'm talking about our little theater. No, our little theater didn't update that sound system for a really long time. I'm sure in, like, the city and, like, all the big places where they updated stuff a little bit more often, yes, it was probably pretty epic. I'm talking about our little theater. Yeah. Where it was still very loud, though. And you were just like, holy like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Uh-huh. No, that fact about him, like, engineering the sound to be better than anything that had come before reminded me of Fantasia again, my other favorite movie, because Walt Disney did the same thing with Fantasia. He wanted, like, was one of the places that surround sound came from, was because of Fantasia.
Well, yeah, because the whole point of that movie is music and sound.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't surround you and all that stuff, what's the point?
I just thought it was so interesting that two of my favorite movies were directly responsible for massive upgrades in movie theater sound quality.
Massive changes in everything. Yeah, and then we get the whole scene, you know, with the Rex coming out and the kids being stupid kids, and the whole, if we don't move, it won't come after us. That whole theory. I always thought it was kind of weird, but I understood, like, from a predator point of view. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of times predators won't, you know, if you run, they'll chase you, but if you don't run, they still might, depending on the situation. Mm-hmm. But it's that whole, you know, don't run from a predator or it'll chase you. I think this movie just took it a step too far that the T-Rex flat out can't see you.
I always that was one of the things that I, like, would question.
Because she was raised by humans. She knows what you smell like. It's not like she's never seen a human before.
Yeah.
You know that they were playing with this baby T-Rex before she got too big. Because, you know, they all hatch from little grapefruit eggs. So, you know, somebody was like, this is my little T-Rex, before she started trying to eat people. Mm-hmm. So that's why it was like, now she can see you, right? Like, I get why she wouldn't chase you if you didn't run. I think the wording probably could have been a little different, but it's just one of those things. It's kind of a meme now.
I think one of the thing that, like, made it stand out to me as not realistic enough is just the fact that they just knew this, and, like, Dr. Grant is like, if you don't move, they can't see you. Or
it's visions based on movement.
Even if that is true, like, how does he know for sure? He literally just got there. He literally just saw these things for the first time.
Right. Like, it's like, you can only get so much from bones, and back then, they weren't doing nearly the studies that they're doing now, like, where you can enter stuff into a computer. Mm-hmm. So, it's like, I don't know if he's trying to base it off, like, predators now, but like I said, even then, if you base it off, like, big cats, even big cats will get you, even if you don't move. Mm-hmm. You know, not all predators hunt when you run. A lot don't.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was kind of like where do you pull that out of? But they had to have a reason why they could get so close to it without it trying to eat them.
Yeah. It's not a thing that bothers me too much.
No. Because you're like, well, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, and plus it's in the middle of this fantastic scene, so you're like, I don't care. Mm-hmm. Like, I just saw a guy get eaten off a toilet. You know, it's like, I don't care. It's great. And then, you know, it goes after the kids in the car, and which I always thought was kind of interesting, because I'm like, does the Rex know there's people in there, or does it think this is the prey? I think it always thought this was food until it tried to, like, bite the tire, and it was like, oh, hell, this isn't food. You know, because it flips it over like it would, like, if you think about, like, a T-Rex hunting a dinosaur, most of them had protection on their backs, so
yeah,
it would have to flip over whatever it was trying to kill. Mm-hmm. I always kind of took it as that, and maybe it just didn't quite, I don't know. With it being raised by people and being around this stuff, I am assuming it probably knew there were people in the cars. Because it's not like they went back in time and got a dinosaur. Like, this dinosaur's been around cars and people its whole life.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it would know the food truck.
Probably.
You know? Because, you know, it's going to see the keepers come and be like, oh, hey, there's Gary. Gary has my goat. Plus, the whole it's vision based on movement doesn't work because the goat was tied in one spot.
Yeah,
and it still ate the goat.
It would have heard the goat or smelled it.
Yeah, and the goat, when we last saw it, was laying down, so if it was asleep, it wouldn't have been moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Jurassic Park. It's a Jurassic Parkism. It's fine. So, back to your problem with the paddock. So, I was watching some YouTube videos before we did this, and they were showing some behind-the-scenes sketches. You know how they used to animate storyboards before they would film stuff back in the day? And they were showing an animated storyboard that shows the Rex dragging the car down the road. And they said that, like, the Rex's paddock is, like, here. And they said there was a gap between the Rex's paddock and the next paddock to keep it from getting out. So, in the behind the scenes that they didn't film, they showed the Rex dragging the car down the street to where the gap is. And then pushing it over. Because they said they had that there so that if the Rex, like, if the fence went out on that side, it wouldn't be able to get down to, like, where the brachiosaurs are.
Okay. That makes sense.
But since it's not in the movie, you're just like, where did this come from? I'm like, all you had to show was the Rex dragging or even shoving the car, down the road a little bit. Because, yeah, they showed that. And I was just like, oh, that would have been very helpful.
I think in my mind, the way I rationalized it was it probably is just a different part than where we last saw. Because what we see on screen, it just seems that they're going over the cliff in the place where the goat was. And the goat was on flat land.
Yeah. And, like, even if, like, you're looking at the road and, like, here's the paddock and you see all the trees, even if there was a ravine there, if you have enough hills and trees, you're not going to notice there's a ravine there. You're going to have the illusion, if there's, like, trees and stuff, that you're not going to notice that gap, especially from a car level.
Yeah.
You might just think it's flat land until you look over the edge and realize, oh, there's a whole drop right here. So yeah, when I saw that animated behind the scenes, I was like, oh, that answers so many questions. You need to go add this back into the movie.
Yeah. George Lucas it.
just like pause a record scratch. I bet you're wondering how we got here. Just show the animated and then cut back into the movie. But yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, you gotta bring that up.
Yeah. No, that's helpful, because I've always wondered about that cliff.
I think everybody has wondered about that cliff.
I saw a quote, I don't remember who said it, but they were talking about that scene, and somebody brought up the fact that, like, won't people notice that there's a cliff where there wasn't before? And somebody was like, nobody will care. And I was like, I will care.
I will care. Well, and I think part of it, too, is that when they're in the car and then they have the fence, there's, like, that concrete wall there. Because when they climb the fence, they have to jump up over that concrete, the concrete steps up that the fence is attached to, because the fence isn't in the ground.
Yeah.
So if you're, like, at car level and there's, like, a retaining wall here, you're not going to notice what's on the other side of that retaining wall. I'm just making a lot of excuses, because I really like the movie.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, if the movie had not been good, I would not be so willing to forgive anything that I didn't get. But, like, you can find, like, even, we're not going to talk about everything. There's a lot of, like, teeny little things that are inconsistent throughout the whole movie. Because I remember after I watched it, I think when I watched it, it was, like, around the time we got a computer and I was, like, learning about the internet and finding all the websites about all my favorite things. And there was one, I can't remember what the website was called, but it, like, listed, like, you look up any movie and it would list every single minor thing that was wrong with a movie. Like,
IMDb?
No, it was like specifically for, like, there was one that was for Easter eggs, and it had a sister site that was about things like bloopers or something, but not bloopers, like
just mistakes, inconsistencies.
Yeah, like there's a headlight that goes out in one of the cars, and
right. Or at this scene, her hair's over her shoulder, and the next scene, it's pulled back. Yeah.
And there's a lot of that in this movie, but I don't care.
No, I don't care.
And in any other movie, I would care. Like, it would ruin the movie for me when I would notice all these things. But, like, for Jurassic Park, it's so well made in every other way that I don't care.
Yeah, it's like at the beginning, like Hammond, when he's in the trailer with them, like, he's holding a pink towel. And then it's a white towel. And then it's a pink towel. Do you think I noticed that before somebody pointed it out? No. Why? Because I'm not looking at the towel.
No, exactly.
I'm looking at them. I'm not paying attention to the towel. If I watch this movie on mute, just for the purpose of finding all the inconsistencies and bloopers and mistakes, yeah, I would probably notice it then. But watching the movie, I'm not looking at his hands. I'm looking at everything else, or I'm looking at, honestly, when they're in the trailer, I'm looking at the background. I'm looking at all the collectibles. I'm looking at the newspaper articles. I'm looking at the books, and I'm like, I want to go there.
Yeah.
I want all his dinosaur stuff. I want all his paleontology books. I want it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was, and then, then we go for the cliff.
Which I really like all of that. Like, for the most part, for that whole scene, like you said, there's no music, and I love that. But even when the music does kick in, it's never too much. Like, some movies will overdo it with the dramatic music.
Especially these days.
Yeah, and this one doesn't.
No, it's just in the background there. It's not, the only time the music's, like, really loud is that opening score when we're going to Jurassic Park in the helicopter, and we get the classic Jurassic Park theme.
Yeah.
But that's to be expected. Like, it's showing you the grandiose of where we're going.
The times when the music kicks in is the times you need it to kick in. And the music is so good. Like, all of the music. Even, this is one of those movies where I had heard the music even before watching the movie, because I think we talked about it back when we did the podcast on Jaws. My mom had a CD of John Williams music.
Oh, yeah.
So I knew the music to Jurassic Park, and to this day, it's still one of my favorite film scores. Like,
well, and everybody, I mean, not everybody, but anybody who watches movies, they know that opening Jurassic Park score. Mm-hmm. It's as familiar as Jaws.
Yeah.
Like, you hear the da-da, and you're just like, oh my god, this Jurassic Park. You know, it's like everybody knows that opening theme.
Not even the opening theme. Like, there's so many little themes. Mm-hmm. Like the theme where they're going up and they see the brachiosaur for the first time.
Right, yeah.
That's my other favorite piece.
Or like when they're in the visitor's center and Hammond's sad because his island's going down, and you get just like the soft, sad music, you know, that's kind of whimsical, and just, it gives you the feelings you're supposed to be feeling.
Yeah.
You know, you feel bad for him. Kind of. I mean, I do, because, I mean, you could tell me there's a 40% chance I'd die going to Jurassic Park, I'd still go.
I mean, yeah probably would
like, let's go. Be a little bit more careful, but I mean, I'd go. But anyway, you know, back to like all the practical effects, you know, when they get pushed over into the tree, again, it's all, they built the tree. They built a tree, they built the car in the tree, they had it fall on, I don't know if it was the actual actors or if it was stunt doubles, but they had that thing on wires and had it fall. Like, it's just, so you feel like the adrenaline that they're feeling.
Yeah.
Though I'm also like, just climb to the side.
That's what I thought when I watched it.
Side.
I don't think I'd ever crossed my mind before, but this time I watched it, I was like, wait, you could just go that way and it could fall past you.
I mean, as someone who could absolutely, positively not climb a tree at all, go to the side. Like, come on, I'm judging you so hard right now. But then it wouldn't be as exciting.
No, yeah. And
we wouldn't get the whole little Timmy being like, oh, we're back in the car again. And you get a little nervous laughter because you're like, where's the dinosaur? Dinosaur's coming for you.
I threw up.
Yeah, oh my god. I would too, Tim. I would have thrown up a long time ago. Like, the second the dinosaur's coming out, I'd been like, oh, hell. Uh-oh. Like, yep, I'd puke too. It's okay. You know, and then we get, like, the one scene with, like, the sketchy CGIs when they're with the brachiosaurs. I'd say that's, like, the sketchiest CGI the movie has.
That's what I was thinking, too. There's a couple places where I noticed that it was CGI, but for the most part, nothing stood out, except that was the big one, when it sneezed.
And when they're, like, not necessarily when they're feeding it, because you can tell when that's the animatronic, but yeah, when it sneezes, or when it kind of pulls back and it puts its head up, and it's very clearly not the animatronic, and you're like, oh... That's, like, the only, like, one of the only moments for me that stands out that you're like, oh, that's a little... Probably could have used a little bit more rendering in this scene. Yeah. Or better yet, just, I don't need to see it sneeze.
No, me neither. That's...
I mean, I get it. It's a funny moment, and it's gross, and, you know, whatever. But I'm also just like, oh, we could have just watched them and just gone to the next scene.
It's kind of funny thinking of my reaction, like, between the first time I saw it and now. Like, I would have been so disgusted by, like,
petroleum jelly.
Like, the arm at the end. Like, I would...
Oh.
Like, that would have been the grossest thing to me. But watching it now, I was like, the sneeze is the grossest part to me.
Nobody wants snot all over their face, especially from a sick dinosaur, because they even says it looks like
it gets a little bit in her mouth.
It does, I was just
so... Ugh.
Well, especially since, you know, it's not a normal sneeze, because they're like, look, it looks like it's sick. Oh, great. Do you have the antibodies to fight off
an ancient disease?
Instead of avian flu, it's brachiosaurus flu or whatever. Like, yeah, that's like one of the only moments where you're like, the CGI here is a little iffy. And it kind of makes me wonder how high they climbed. Because they wanted to climb high enough to avoid the wrecks. But brachiosaurs are like 60 feet tall.
I did not think about it before, but you're right, because it didn't seem like they climbed that high.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, if you don't climb high enough, you're in biting range, and the Rex is just going to get you. But if you're high enough that you can see the brachiosaurs, like, you climbed really, really far up that tree.
That is true. But again,
who cares? Maybe the brachiosaur's standing in a rut.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it is. I don't know. But, yeah, I'm just like, those are really tall. How high did you climb?
That's fine, whatever.
It's fine, everything's fine.
After that, you get the scene where they find the eggshells and the footprints.
Oh, yep.
The first time I watched it, and I never really thought about it much after that, but I always, for some reason, thought it was velociraptors.
I think it's because they used pretty similar looking eggs. It's probably the same.
Well, I was thinking about it this time, and I was like, it wouldn't be velociraptors.
No,
because they're in with the brachiosaurs. I was wondering, is it Gallimimus?
I always wondered, because I'm like, well, they're not big enough to be brachiosaur eggs, because I know brachiosaur eggs weren't very big, but they were still the size of like a big pineapple or grapefruit.
Mm-hmm.
So it could have been Gallimimus. Who knows what other little dinosaurs are in there? I mean, they're too big to be like compy eggs, but there could have been any other herbivore living in there. Anything small. I mean, there's so many different species and so many different sizes. I mean, it could have been Paraphilophosaurus eggs, even.
Yeah, we don't actually know. For whatever reason, my mind just said Velociraptor when I first watched it, and I never really questioned it after that, except for the fact that why would it have been Velociraptor?
It's probably because the only eggs we had seen thus far were the Velociraptor eggs.
Probably.
But yeah, it was probably Gallimimus or just some other... Because it's like when you go to the zoo and they have, like, giraffes with zebras and ostriches. It's like, I'm sure they didn't just have brachiosaurs in this paddock. You're going to have something that's going to eat the grass.
Yeah, because I don't think they cross any other fences before they see the Gallimimus.
Yeah, and you couldn't really tell by, like, the feet. Like, it kind of looked like a little three-toed thing, but I'm sure baby dinosaurs have different feet when they come out before as they grow, they change. You know, kind of like how horses are born with soft hooves before they harden up as they age.
Yeah, if anybody's listening, don't ever Google baby horse feet. They're disturbing.
Aww. Oh, they're not. They're just yellow and soft and kind of weird looking until they harden up.
They're so weird. They give me a creepy feeling.
Oh, well, good thing you don't have horses.
I love horses, but like I had never seen a baby horse, and then I saw a picture of, what do they call them, like fairy feet or something? They don't look like hooves.
Oh, right.
They look...
I guess I follow a few people on Facebook who breed horses, and so I always watch the horse births, and I'm like, oh, wow, look at that.
Maybe not all horses have them, but the ones that have been in the pictures that I've seen have had the weirdest looking feet, and it's just like, ooh.
But anyway, get away from that.
That was a weird tangent.
Yeah. The thing that always kind of, he talks about the dinosaurs change sex, and, some were male now, because frogs can do that. And I'm like, I always kind of was like, okay, because of the frog DNA. But I'm like, do they have that much DNA to swap genders like that? I don't know. I just kind of... Then it starts making me think about how dinosaurs breed, and then I'm like, whoa, this whole dark hole, I don't want to go down. And then I just like, you know what, I'll go with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's science fiction, so it's one of those things where it's like, I'll accept whatever you tell me because it's not real anyway. And
since we don't find out what species it is, it's like, well, it may not even have been all of them. Like that were developing like that. It could have just been like the smaller ones that maybe were more bird-like too.
Yeah.
So, but the
doesn't matter.
No, it really doesn't matter because that's not the point of this movie.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
Even within the movie itself or the world of the movie, it's also one of those things like it could have just happened, and even without the frog DNA, there's so many things that they tried to plan for. Mm-hmm. And it didn't work. Like, they have the whole thing about the lysine deficiency.
Right.
Like we see in the next movies, that didn't matter. They find some natural source or they didn't need it to begin with, and they're still surviving somehow.
Well, and the thing that, like, I always kind of thought was, when they say, oh, the dinosaurs are breeding, is I always kind of wondered if they didn't mean the dinosaurs were changing genders as adults, but maybe the scientists just assumed all the eggs were female. Because, like, with alligators and crocodiles, the gender of the baby and the egg depends on where it is in the nest. It's kind of weird. So, like, maybe they just assumed that all the eggs they had fertilized were female, but maybe because of, like, different temperatures or different exposures.
That is also true.
Maybe and then when they were born, well, I don't know how you would sex a dinosaur. Mm-hmm. And maybe they just assumed they were all female and put them out, not knowing that there was a little bull in there with them.
Mm-hmm. And there are other species that can just have babies. Like, they don't need...
Yeah, sharks have done it.
Yeah. If there's no male, they
even
can
some
just
snakes.
randomly get pregnant.
Right. So it could have even been that. Like, they may not have even swapped. That was just his guess. That was just another thing Alan pulled out of his ass. Along with the T-Rex thing. So yeah, it could have just been a spontaneous virgin birth. Mm-hmm. You know, because I know, like, sharks have done it. I think some fish have done it. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's some shark DNA or something in there, too. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I suppose that's another one of the things, like, in the book, it'll be better explained, but we're not talking about the book. We're talking about the movie. And Alan saying stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess a lot of the explanations is just him trying to come up with something to rationalize what they're seeing.
And that could be it, too. Like, he's just doing his best to just get them through this. And, like, I'm just going to say this, and we'll just go on with our lives.
Yeah.
Because in his head, he's like, if I live, I'm never coming back. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just going to go home.
Yeah.
I'm not coming back to this. So whatever happens, I don't care. Mm-hmm. You know, I just want to get out of here alive, and now I'm stuck with these kids. So I'm just going to say what I have to make myself feel better about the situation.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Gallimimus, we could talk about the Gallimimus scene. I think it comes a little later, but it's the next big dinosaur. Well, I guess it's the last new dinosaur we see, I think.
Well, we haven't seen velociraptors yet. We see them at the end.
I guess we saw the baby, but the
hatchling.
The big ones we don't see till the end.
Yeah, they're like the last big thing, because the Gallimimus would be next.
Which I like that scene, too.
I think everybody, like, I know they say now, like, the CGI is a little wonky, but I'm like, I think it looks great. I think it looks
It's, like,
great.
I could tell, like, watching it now, there you get glimpses of them where it's like, okay, that's definitely CGI, but, like...
Well, and that it's like copy and paste.
It's so brief.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter.
No. And it's like, and it looks good, and so one time Alan's kind of right. He's like, look, they're like a flock of birds moving in formation. I'm like, well, they're herd animals. I bet they are. Mm-hmm. You know, and then we get that epic moment where the Rex comes popping out, and you didn't even know she was there. They had no idea she was there. Like, if those Gallimimus wouldn't have shown up...
Oh, that's true.
like, they would have been lunch. There's nowhere for them to go. They're going to hide under that log? Rex is just going to kick that log away.
Yeah.
You know, and then they get their one moment where they actually... You know, the Rex... I think nowadays, even in the second one, they would have had the Rex go after them. Mm-hmm. But she's got food.
Yeah.
She's eating. She doesn't need to hunt anything else. You know, she's like, no, I'm fine. You know, I know she doesn't see him, but I think that's actually a pretty good example of a predator that, well, I have food.
Yeah.
I don't need to hunt you little. You ain't got no meat.
Those are just crunchy little snacks.
Yeah, I ate that lawyer off the toilet. Like, he didn't taste good at all. It was all fabric, you know, and like crunchy bits in his wallet and stuff. It's still in my teeth. But yeah, the Rex, though, it's just so... And that's when you get to see her in the bright sunlight.
Yeah.
Oh, we skipped a part. We skipped the Jeep part, where they go to find him.
Yeah, that's another one of my favorite parts.
When they find Jeff Goldblum, after he rode the Rex's head and almost got ate. I had to pause that a few times to figure out how the hell the T-Rex did not eat him. And it's because he got on top of her face, and she just flung him into the toilets.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, if you pause it, you can, like, see him, like, when she goes for him, and he gets on top of her nose. And he, flings him.
I never saw that. I thought he got, like, I thought she, like, hit him or something. And
I think that's kind of what happened was she, like, put her head down to get him and shoved him. But it looks like he's, like, on her nose. And that's when she eats the lawyer. But then Ellie and Muldoon show up to try to find survivors. And then the Rex comes. And then we get another little wonky moment where she's chasing him, but it's such a good scene, I don't
dark.
care.
It's like they hid anything that was going to be wonky. Most things were hidden in the dark and the rain.
Right. Well,
which is how it looks so good still to this day.
Yeah. Well, and then we get this, you know, and that's where the music helps the build-up.
Yeah. With
the tension. Because, like, he sees the water tremble. He knows the Rex is coming. Mm-hmm. And the music starts to build up, and then they come running. And
I love the line. One of them's talking like, "Do you think we could move him? Because like he's injured." And he's like, "Please, chance it."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do you think we could outrun it or something? And then he gets on the gear shift because the Rex is trying to pluck him out of the back, and there's everybody screaming, and you can see it in the side mirrors, and you're just like, this is such a good scene. And then they just drive under that tree stump, and then the Rex gives up because she's like, I'm not used to chasing my food. I'm a spoiled Rex. They feed me goats. I'll just go find something else. Yeah, that's another great moment where, she didn't chase them right away. She stuck around that area at first and realized there's nothing here to eat. And that's when she shows up at the Gallimimus field and we get to see her in the full light and the CGI looks great.
Yeah.
She's in the full sunlight and you're just like, wow, that looks like, yeah, let's stay here and watch this for a little bit. Like Tim, gets fascinated by all the blood. I'm like, me too, buddy. I was a weird kid too. And I think after the Gallimimus scene is pretty much when we're trying to just get back to the visitor's space. The visitor's compound.
And you're cutting between them and the people back there trying to figure out what Nedry did.
And poor Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, they have to reset, the entire park, which is why the fences go down.
And they cleverly put that far away from the main area. I'm like, why isn't this in the basement? Why is it in a separate building?
Yeah,
but then we wouldn't get this moment, so. Yeah. And we find, and then they send him out, and he doesn't come back. And then so Muldoon and Ellie decide to go, because they just got back with Jeff Goldblum, and we get him laying there with his shirt open. It's that glorious scene that, for some reason, it's just like, wait, what? Okay. It kind of always made me laugh, because, in most other movies, it'd be Ellie, flashing or, with her bra or whatever, being all sexy. But instead, it's Jeff Goldblum laying there with his leg in a splint covered in dirt and blood with his shirt open. It's all sweaty. And you're like, it's an odd place for a little thirst trap, but
I don't know why.
I'm fine with it.
It's making me think of that scene from, I don't remember which SpongeBob episode, but Squidward going, "Oh no, he's hot."
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it was. Because, his hair's all messed up. He's not wearing the glasses or anything. I don't think he's wearing his glasses. And you're just like, oh, okay. But again, if you'd ever watched The Fly, you've seen him, almost completely nude. Is he full front on that? I don't think so. But you're still like, oh, hello, sir. I'm glad you didn't die. And then that's when it starts to kick up with the Velociraptors, which you still don't see them fully until the kids get back. Even when they're hunting Muldoon and them, you just see their face.
I mean, I've seen it so many times now that it didn't really register that this is the point where you actually start seeing them. Because I'd forgotten, you don't see them at the beginning. You only get the baby. You don't really see them until Arnold shuts down the fence and they can escape. Yeah,
because the first you see a full adult raptor is when Ellie's going to the control shed and Muldoon stays behind, and he sees it hiding behind a log, and all you see is its eye and part of its eye ridge, and then the other one comes from the side and you see the full animatronic head pop through that gets him. And then you kind of see it jump through to get him. But it's funny because this was also hinted at the beginning when Alan was scaring that kid. Because he talks about, you see the raptor in front of you, and then the two raptors you didn't know were there get you. And that's what happens to Muldoon, is he sees the raptor in front of him, and the one he didn't see gets him. So it's all kind of circling back from that first moment. I guess Alan was right about a couple things.
Yeah.
And then the third raptor's in the shed. That's why he only gets attacked by one, because he sees the two, and then the third one's in the shed yet, snacking on Samuel L. Jackson's corpse, I guess. It got locked in a room, but still.
The way that whole scene played out, I know it's for dramatic effect, but, how did he die? In what configuration? Because the arm, falls on her?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know if the raptor was just playing with its prey and flinging body parts around, but it's not even in the same area that all the locks are in, so I don't know if he got in the shed. Was it locked? No, it wasn't locked. She got in.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I don't know if it if it chased him in there and he tried to hide in a room and it got in and he accidentally locked himself in the room with it. It's a very odd. It's one of those just go with it kind of things. The monster's in the room and you're not gonna know. The Dilophosaurus getting in the Jeep.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, there's a bloody arm, the guy's dead, and she started all the power-up backup, and now she's got to run from it. And then she locks it in there.
Or she thinks she locked it in there.
Well, because there's only two after this, right?
No, there's 3.
So
There's 2. Then,
the kitchen.
Then Tim locks one in the freezer.
Okay, and then the one
it is locked because he latches the lock that it can't get
and
to.
then that one eventually gets out because then there's the 2 at the very end when
Yes.
the Rex shows up. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and then she runs and makes it back. Oh, and then when she's running, she runs into them.
Yeah.
And which I'm like...
She runs into Alan because Alan left the kids in the visitor center.
Yeah, and goes
so
to find him. Yeah. But he goes out to find her, and she's like running from, what she thinks is the raptor behind her, and Muldoon's not there. And she kind of is like, oh my god, run. But then they hug, and I'm like, it's still there. You should probably keep...
That is true.
You should probably keep... You're not safe yet. He doesn't have a rifle. Like, just keep going. But, again, it's like in scary movies. Once the thing's off screen, you're like, it's fine for a little bit. Can't see you anymore.
I guess the other 2 are probably technically distracted right now because they have a fresh Muldoon.
That's true. They're having a snack, so they don't need to hunt right now. Until they go after children in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
And then we get the Jell-O scene, which...
I was going to say, green Jell-O has never looked so good as it does in that scene.
I'm like, technically that probably should be melted if the ice cream's already melted, but...
I did wonder that, but then I was like, I don't care.
Details. You're hungry, you're gonna eat it. It doesn't really matter. Then we finally see the raptors. The full raptor. Because, before now we've seen their face. We saw kind of a shadow of him when he jumps on Muldoon and, chomps his head. Then we saw the feet with the claw. But now, our first visual of them is when they come into the kitchen going after the kids. Mm-hmm. Which is, like what you said, what you saw of the claymation that they did first. Mm-hmm. And then they went back to jumping. And this is, the first time in the movie that, other than the Brachiosaurus scene, where we get, real close-ups of the CGI. Because before they were kind of using it for, in a distance.
Yeah.
The Rex, all the close-ups were animatronic, and all the far away were, when she had to run and stuff, were all CGI.
Yeah.
But the raptors now in the kitchen is mostly CGI. Except for, the feet and some shots of the head.
I was going to say, I think close-up shots on the face and feet probably are real. Mm-hmm. Anything where they're running and
jumping on the
counters, yeah.
Yeah, is CGI, but it's still closer than what we saw, with the Rex.
Yeah. But most of that, unless you're, looking for imperfections, it reads as real.
Yeah,
it looks good.
It's pretty flawless. Especially since they managed to incorporate all the reflections of that shiny kitchen. Mm-hmm. Even, the one close-up of the head where the raptor's, licking the ladle. Even that, you're like, okay, I know that's not the animatronic, but it still looks really good. Mm-hmm. And then we get the classic, raptor scream, and it does its little pose before it tries to attack her, and that's what all the toys are modeled after, was that pose. I'm like, we don't even know if this is real, but for some reason, it did kind of remind me of, an angry chicken or something. Because you know how they puff up before they try to get you, or a goose?
Yeah.
It's very bird-like.
They took a lot of inspiration from real life, so I bet that's something that they saw and decided to incorporate characteristics of.
Well, and what's scary? Angry fowl.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to get chased by an angry chicken or a goose or turkey. Scary.
Even without teeth, they're still basically little dinosaurs.
Geese have teeth.
Oh, yeah, the little ridge things.
Scary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they are basically little dinosaurs. Or you could look at, the bigger birds, like emus and stuff, and look at their feet. You're like, yes, totally dinosaur right there.
Cassowaries.
Yes.
They look like a dinosaur.
Yeah, I think they studied a lot of the big birds and their movements to nail down, how the raptors and stuff would move. Because it is very bird-like with the way they their head doesn't, really sway with their movements and stuff, but...
I've heard enough about cassowaries that I would be just as scared of a cassowary as I would be a dinosaur.
Any big bird, I'm not going to go near that thing.
Yeah, any big bird would be dangerous, but cassowaries...
I've heard terrible things about them.
They'll kill people.
Aren't they Australian?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
But the raptors in the kitchen scene is probably, if not my favorite part, one of my favorite parts. It's just so well done. Mm-hmm. Everything about it. Even... one of my favorite things about the T-Rex breakout scene is that there's no music. This has music, but it's done in such a way that it never feels overpowering. It's just the perfect amount.
Yeah, actually, when you mentioned it, I was thinking there wasn't music in the scene.
In my memories, there isn't, but there is, but it's not.
It's subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really well done.
Because all I can think of is, like, the sounds the raptors make, like the breathing of, like, the kids and the raptors, you know, the kids trying not to breathe loud, and the sound of their claws tapping on the floor and stuff like that, and the crunching of the metal. Like, they did such a good job with all the sound design.
The way the music goes in and out, like, it ramps up when there's more tension, but then when the kids are, like, freezing in place, then there's no music, so you hear all the little sound effects and
so
things
it feels
that
like
you need.
you're being hunted, too.
Yeah.
I'd say that's probably, like, the most, like, recreated scene from Jurassic Park is probably the kitchen scene. Like, you've seen it, like, in, like, different cartoons and stuff where they...
Parody.
Yeah, little parodies of it. And they'll replace the raptors with other things. But, you know, it is a very good scene. Like, the kids are believable. Like, they're not overacting. They're not doing anything really stupid. You know, like, Tim is scared and, you know, yeah, his older sister has to save him. But that's how kids are.
Yeah.
And he got electrocuted.
Yeah.
Give the kid a break. He's tired. He's a little kid. I don't know how old he's supposed to be, but he's a scrawny little kid. Yeah, it makes sense his older sister would have to save him.
Well, he holds his own, too. Like, he
does.
lures the one into the freezer. It seems intentional, the way he runs towards the freezer.
Yeah.
And then gets in there and then locks it in.
And he screams to... I always assumed he was screaming to lure the raptor in, but then also I'm like, little kids scream a lot for no reason.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not that little. I know he's an older kid. He's not like a 3-year-old. But, you know, he's a kid. Kids make noise. But yeah, it did seem like maybe he knew he had an idea of what to do, because he's not stupid. But, yeah, and then he locks it in there. And yeah, because they figured out real quick, they saw the raptors open the door. So they know the raptors can open doors.
Yeah.
So that's why he's smart enough to lock it. Because if they wouldn't have seen the raptor actually turn the door handle, they may not have locked it.
No.
They would have been like, he can't figure that out. No way. But again, these raptors are smart and they are raised by people. They've probably seen people open doors.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yes. I did see the human with the goat. Or my cow. Open the door. You know, they're smart. Which is stressed at the beginning, and why I think if they wouldn't have stressed so much how intelligent they are, I think the door opening thing would have been like, what? But they talk so much about how smart they are. Like Muldoon really, he beats it into them and us that these things are smart and they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So when we see them open the door, you're like, yeah, he did say they were smart. Like, it makes sense that he would know how to open the door. Even so, when you see their little hand open the door, just like, looks like a little parrot hand. Just like, I'm going to open that door. I'm going to get you.
Well, after they escape from the kitchen, then we have another iconic scene as they're reunited with Dr. Grant and Sattler, and then they have to hide in this room, and they find the Unix system.
God. As a little kid, I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
And I know it was based off actual software that they were working on at the time, I think. But still, I'm just like, I don't quite get it, but I also didn't know a lot about computers then. I was 10.
Yeah. No.
Like, you show me it, okay. You know, it's like every hacker movie where they're like, I'm going to hack the system. And I'm like, all right, I believe you.
I think they probably did it that way so it's more visually interesting, because for the most part, the computers would be more like when Mr. Arnold is trying to hack into Nedry's computer.
Yes, and he's typing code.
Yeah.
Instead of playing a video game, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, when I first watched this, it didn't read as weird to me, because by that point, computers had progressed enough that images on screen aren't that weird.
Yeah, see, I don't even think we had a computer when I was 10. I think we got my first computer probably when I was, like, 13. So it was like, what computer I had ever used was probably at the library or school. So for me, I was just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe you.
Yeah.
You hacked that computer. You do it, kid. Though I will say, just get the gun.
Yeah, I mean, everybody always wants to rag on Tim for not getting the gun, but I will say also,
He's a little
Ellie
kid.
could have yelled at him, like, Tim, give me that gun.
Yeah, that's true. Like, give the kid directions. Again, he's been electrocuted. He's been chased by raptors. He's tired. Like, give him direction. He clearly needs direction. He's a kid. But yeah, it's just like, get the gun. I mean, not that I don't think it would have done any good.
Probably not.
I don't think, I mean...
It's like you hear them shooting later, and
right.
if it hit it, it didn't hurt it enough to stop it.
And I mean, unless, like, Alan was going to put the gun through the door, you can't let it in the room and then shoot it. It's going to get you before you can get it. So I don't think the gun would have helped at all.
Probably not.
But I think it's just the fact that maybe if they... Because it didn't help Muldoon.
No.
Yeah, I think it's just to build up the tension of, you're safer if you've got that gun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I did read an interesting thing, and I didn't even think of this, but you never see a gun fired. You hear it, but they never show them shoot a gun.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, like you see the flashes and you can hear the gunshots, but they never show anybody fire a gun. I thought it was very interesting, because thinking back on it, I'm like, that's true. Because, like, Muldoon doesn't get a shot off on the raptors. And at the beginning, when they're shooting the raptor in the pen, you don't see any guns shooting. You see the shocks, like the cattle prods or whatever. And, like, later on, when they're getting out of the room, you see the gun and the ammo on the ground, but you don't actually see them fire a gun.
Yeah. I wonder if that was a deliberate choice.
It'd probably be easier not to have to fire a gun, because then you don't need a weapons person on set to make sure no accidents happen.
That is true.
If it's a fake gun and nobody's going to fire it, you don't have to have live ammunition. You just add the pops in and special effects. You don't even need to fire blanks.
If you shoot the scene well enough, it doesn't matter, because you won't notice, because I did not notice until you just now said that.
Yeah. And, like you said, it wouldn't have done any good anyway. Guns don't stop these dinosaurs.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they do.
Which makes sense, because technically, like, guns, you need the right kind of gun to kill a bear.
Mm-hmm.
And arguably, these are probably tougher than bears.
I can see, like, if they were close enough to shoot it right in the head, but you don't want to get that close to it.
No, and that's a small target. It's a small target.
Yeah.
And they seem like they're pretty bony.
Yeah.
When you shoot it in the wrong spot, you're just making mad.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, and then we get them climbing up through the ceiling where the raptor jumps up and almost gets her. Like, God, that gets me almost every time. I'm just like, grab her leg! Grab her leg!
And I've seen, like, the behind-the-scenes footage of that scene. That wasn't the girl who played Lex.
Yep, it was the stunt actress.
But this was, they replaced her face so well that you would never know.
Well, and it's such a fast scene, too, that even if it does blur, you're moving.
Uh-huh.
Like, I wouldn't expect it to be crystal clear.
Yeah.
When there's that much movement. Plus, again, you're not looking at her face.
No.
You're looking at her leg and the raptor who's trying to jump up and eat her.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't have even thought anything of it except for watching behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yep, exactly. I will say, though, it does have one of the more comical scenes when the raptor pops his head up under the... and she's on top of the ceiling tile. You're just like, what?
That's one of those other things where the logistics make me wonder, like, how is this happening? Like, what is he standing on?
Is he on a table? Because the next scene, they have to jump to get to her.
Uh-huh.
And it's just, you're like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe they're standing on each other's shoulders. We don't know. They're smart. They might be smart enough to figure that out. I mean, I think there was a table underneath it when he falls, maybe. But, again, it's just like, well, clearly the raptor can't even jump up into the ceiling where they are.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be tall enough to... It's kind of like when Godzilla stands in the ocean.
I don't think I ever thought about that either.
Oh, okay. It's just one of those logistical things where you're like, huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is true.
Like, whatever, it's fine. Everything's fine. But,
he can float.
Yeah, he does. He's pretty hefty. Then they get back into the main visitor center, don't they?
Yeah, they crawl through the ceiling and end up in the visitor center. I don't remember exactly how.
On top of the the display.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the raptors show up. I guess originally they were not going to have the Rex at the end.
No, the original plan for the scene was just to have them fight them off and then kill them with the pieces of the skeleton.
Mm-hmm. Then they realized that's never going to happen.
But they figured the T-Rex is the star. We need to bring her back one last time and have her be the savior inadvertently. Like, she's not intending to save the humans, but I love that choice.
Oh, absolutely. It's iconic.
Yeah.
It's absolutely iconic. Does it make sense? No. Do we care? No. No, we do not. But it makes more sense that the Rex would kill the raptors, because there's no way those four are gonna kill raptors with dinosaur bones. I mean, I get it. It's iconic. It's kind of like, oh, they were killed by the bones of the original dinosaurs. Mm-hmm. But you couldn't even kill it with the gun.
I could see it maybe inadvertently working for one if you can dislodge the thing in the ceiling and have, like, the rib cage fall.
Right, when it falls on
If it could
Tim.
fall on, like, but you can't
legs.
do that twice.
No. And, like, you could have the dinosaur accidentally fall onto, like, other bones and, like, impale itself. Mm-hmm. But again, are you going to do that twice?
No, it works so much better in every way to have the T-Rex come back.
Yeah. And because you don't expect it either.
No. She's like a Deus Ex Machina, but in a way that makes sense.
Well, because at this point, you're like, well, who's going to save him? Like, who's left? Hammond and
injured Ian Malcolm.
And Ian Malcolm. Like, what, are they going to come in Rambo? Like, guns a-blazing?
Hammond has to walk with a cane, and Ian Malcolm cannot walk. So.
Yeah, he can't walk. His legs broke. And Hammond's an old man, and he doesn't want to get his suit dirty. Which it does not get dirty through the whole movie, by the way.
I guess I never gave it a thought.
It's pretty shiny. I
guess he really doesn't have any dino encounters, does he?
No, he doesn't.
Interesting.
He's in his penthouse.
Yeah,
but that's suspicious, isn't it? I guess that's just a... Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it's like, because there was no other way out of that situation. Like, unless in, like, the cow... And we know Muldoon's dead. Like, if we didn't know he was dead, he could have been an option. But we saw his head get chomped. So...
Yeah.
He's dead. So yeah, there was really nothing else that would have possibly saved them. And then Miss Rex shows up and creates one of the most iconic moments in movie history.
Yeah.
With the sign, the banner falling behind her. You're like, how'd she get in the visitor center? Don't care. I don't care how she got in there.
That's the only part that doesn't really make sense. The only thing I can think of is that maybe there's an unfinished wall that she ducked down.
I think that was kind of the theory, was that, like, the visitor center wasn't finished yet. But I'm like, nah, it was pretty damn finished when he gave him a tour.
Yeah.
Unless the doors were just... I mean, I can see maybe having doors just that big for, like, bringing in equipment and just for the grandiose of it. You know, you've got a giant gate that brings you into the park. Why wouldn't the visitor center have some big doors somewhere to, like...
Yeah.
I don't care.
Again, it's fine.
You don't hear her coming. She just shows up. She's 40 feet long, and how tall do T-Rexes get? Like 15, 17 feet tall or whatever. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Because she's there.
Yep.
And she becomes the hero of all these movies somehow. And yet she doesn't look the same in any of them, but who cares? Well, the second one. It's not the same dinosaur, though.
Yeah, the second one is a different island,
It's
so
a
it's not
different
her.
one. But, yeah. And then they run out the door, and Alan says, I've decided not to endorse your park. He says, so have I.
Yeah.
And they drive off to the helicopter and...
Fly off into the sunset.
Yep.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. With the pelicans. And you know everybody's like pterodactyls.
In my mind,
Pterodactyls.
I remember pterodactyls. It's not, because every time I watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's pelicans.
Yeah, but in your head, you're thinking, are there pterodactyls on this island somewhere? Which, when we do kind of get them, it is still kind of a little disappointing, but that's yeah. It's just me being picky. But yeah, and that's Jurassic Park, and we get Alan with the 2 kids, and he's totally cool with it now. He's like, I'm ready to be a dad. I would have liked to have, like in the other movies, I would have liked to have had Alan keep in contact with the kids. Like, that would have been so sweet. Like, if Tim would have grown up and he would have been at his graduation or something.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell me that little Tim just let Alan Grant go after this. That man saved his life, and he was already obsessed with him. Like, it would have been so sweet.
I mean, I don't think he would want it either, because he grows to love these kids.
Yeah. So it's like, you would think he would have, like, stayed in their lives.
Yeah.
Somehow. Like, it would have just been a cute thing, like, in one of the sequels, or even, like, the Jurassic World movies, to, like, see a picture on his wall of, like, at Tim's graduation or something. Yeah. Or, like, you know, with Lex at, like, her wedding or something. Like, it would have just been a really sweet moment, like, to tie all this back together instead of all that character growth being for nothing.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it's for nothing, because we don't get enough of these characters again to really...
True. And what we do get, you're like, nah.
Yeah.
Except Jeff Goldblum, who is just gold in the second movie.
I haven't watched it in several years, so it'll be interesting to see if my opinion of him has changed. Because, like I said, watching this time, I was like, I wouldn't like him in real life. But he's not, like, he's the same character, but he's not exactly the same in the second one, so...
No, he is definitely he's more Jeff... They let him be Jeff Goldblum more, I would say. You know, he gets to be more of himself, I think, in the second one.
Plus, you see one of his actual kids and he's not... I don't want to call him a womanizer, because he's not exactly that in this movie, but he's not...
He's flirty.
Yeah.
He's friendly.
Yeah.
Flirty and but not over the top flirty either.
He's just, like, bordering on cringe.
Yes. He's bordering on the creepy guy, I need someone to intervene. It's more like, well, he's kind of charming and annoying, I can't get out of this car kind of way, I can deal with it. And he does say in the first movie that he loves kids and he's got kids of his own. Which, I mean, I suppose that's why he did kind of try to help at the T-Rex attack. I still think he was just trying to up Alan. I mean, he says, get the kids, and I'm gonna get the Rex away, you know, when he pulls the flare and run.
Yeah.
But a part of me is just like, I think you're just trying to do one up. Because him and Alan have been in, like, competition, kind of. And I'm like, I think you're trying to save the kids, but I think you're also just like, I'm gonna do better. I don't know. It's just one of those weird things. But,
he's an interesting character.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely stands out. I mean, thank God they didn't write him out.
No, yeah.
And I can't... Then it would have never worked to have him and Alan be the same character, because they're not. They're complete opposites.
No, I'm glad that they kept them separate.
I mean, they are opposites, but they're not, because they both... I mean, because Alan never really thinks Jurassic Park's a good idea.
No. Like, He's you can
fascinated.
See him get enchanted with the dinosaurs at times.
But
overall, he knows this is a bad idea.
Yeah, so he is, they are kind of on the same page there, where they're both like, this is kind of a bad idea. But for different reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Jurassic Park.
One of my all-time favorite movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have a hard time ranking favorite movies, because, like, I feel like my favorites are always changing. But, like, if I had to pick a top 5, this would always be in the top 5.
Oh yeah, I'd say this is probably my number 3.
I would need to, like, sit down and make a list. But, like, if somebody told me to list out some of my favorite movies, this would be one of the very first ones I named.
This is one of those movies where I'm like, you haven't seen Jurassic Park? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, and I know a lot of people say that, like, about Star Wars, and I used to be that person until Star Wars got too big and too weird and too expanded. But now, and I guess Jurassic Park technically is kind of going down that same route, but I'm still just like, you should watch Jurassic Park, because, it's good.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, even if you don't watch it in the context of all the other movies, just watching it by itself, it stands up by itself as its own thing.
It's it didn't need sequels.
No.
Like, it is its own movie. Like, you don't have to watch anything else after it. Like, once it's over, you can be like, that's it. That nothing else happened ever again.
Even though I love the second one, it doesn't need to happen.
No.
Like, this is perfect as a standalone movie.
Well, and even if you don't like dinosaurs, like, don't watch it for dinosaurs. Watch it for the...
It has great characters, which is something that is lacking in some of the newer ones.
Yes.
You don't really care about the new characters. I'm there for the dinosaurs.
I am like, eat him. Kill him. I don't care about her. She's running in heels away from a T-Rex. Get her. But, yeah, like this, like, watch it for the characters, watch it for the cinematography, the special effects, the music, the directing, watch it for everything. Like, it's a 5, 10-star, 12-star movie. Like, it's got everything.
Yeah.
It's got great build-up, it's got great storytelling, and assuming you're not, like, a weird, picky person like us, you're not going to notice any of the weird little mistakes and things that need explanation later. You're just going to go for it. It's not that scary.
Even the mistakes that you could get picky about, I didn't notice them until I looked them up and found somebody to point them out to me. And now I notice them because I know that they're there. But, like, even watching it last night for this, for most of them, I forgot to look for them. And I didn't notice.
Right, well, because you're so transfixed on everything.
Yeah.
That you're just, like, you're in the moment and you don't care.
In every other way, it's so well made that it does not matter.
Mm-hmm. I have the Jurassic Park card set when Jurassic Park came out. And I love it because it's got little photos from the movie. And then on the back, it explains the scene. And on the scene where the Rex is attacking the car, when it's standing on the car with its foot and it roars when it has the tire.
Mm-hmm.
The back of the card says the T-Rex stops to roar because when it bit the tire, it popped and it scared it.
That's great.
And I am like, well, that makes sense, because how often would she bite into something that would burst? And so she roars because she's like, what the hell?
That's almost adorable.
Yeah, that it startled it.
Poor thing.
Yeah, because she's like chewing on the tire, and the next moment she's roaring and the tire's deflated and, hanging from her mouth.
That's so great.
Because, she's trying to, get the prey, and then this thing goes pop. And she's like, what? Huh? And that's another thing, those cards, I should have dug those out, is that, they explain this scene, and it's just little details like that you wouldn't normally think of.
Yeah.
And, again, that's just one of the things that makes Jurassic Park great, because, as many times as you watch it, you're going to pick up on all the little details and all the foreshadowing, so much foreshadowing. Mm-hmm. Like I said, everything in the first part of the movie with the raptor attack, and then Alan, talking at the dig about velociraptors, all that comes back around.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably most of what I have to say for now.
Mm-hmm.
I think my other notes more have to do with the book, but we're going to come back after we both reread it. So, we will be back to talk more about Jurassic Park in the future. I guess that is all for now. Until next time.
See you later.
Thanks for listening to Every Version Ever. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe and follow my co-hosts as well. All of our links will be in the description below. If you'd like more podcasts like this one, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well as most podcast platforms. If you'd like to support this show, check out Johncast Media on Patreon for everything here, plus bonus and extended episodes you won't find anywhere else. We'll be back soon with another brand new episode, so thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.